Chapter 430. Gao Jiwei sneered coldly. Lin Yin, you're asking the obvious. I chased you out of the company because of your bad behavior. Now, of course you want to return to Star Entertainment. Is there a problem? At this point, the reporters and artists present completely believed Gao Jiwei's words. Gao Jiwei wanted to seize this opportunity to make a name for himself. Hence, he turned to the crowd and said, "This concerns my reputation. How could I blabber about it? I knew that there was something wrong with her character. That's why I didn't agree to sign her even though she is popular now. Who knew that she would resort to such underhanded methods? I'm a man with a strong family background. How could I do such a thing?" That's right. Lin Yin is really shameless. Does she think that everyone is as immoral as she is? The crowd chimed in when they heard Gao Jiwei's words. They were filled with indignation and admiration for Gao Jiwei's character. And Qianqian's film had been nominated as well. However, she was only there to accompany Gao Jiwei. However, Gao Jiwei had made use of his recent hype to gain a good reputation. Many people tried to strike up a conversation with him and expressed their support for him. Gao Jiwei seized the opportunity to build connections. *TC. Get out of the entertainment industry. Someone in the crowd berated her. Yeah. Get out of the entertainment industry. She shouldn't be allowed to spoil the culture of the entertainment industry. How could there be such a shameless person? Some of her crew members even said that she had seduced Mr. Pei. Yeah. I just heard that Mr. Pei treats her very differently. I wonder what trick she has resorted to this time. Gao Jiwei assumed that Lin Yin was at her wit's end when she remained silent. He stepped forward and sighed pretentiously. Actually, I'm a sentimental person. Lin Yin must have gone astray. Please don't blame her. On account of our past relationship, as long as she works hard in the future, I can sign her. Gao Jiwei was still trying to squeeze every last bit of value out of Lin Yin. He had gotten rid of both the good and the bad guys. Just as everyone was cursing at Lin Yin, Gao Jiwei seized the opportunity to pretend to be a good person. Suddenly, a voice rang out from the entrance. Yo. It's so lively today. Everyone subconsciously looked in the direction of the sound. It was Summit Entertainment CEO Chu Jiayao. Chu Jiayao was being escorted by a few bodyguards. Pei Nanshu, the best actor of the year, was walking beside him. No one had expected that the boss of Summit Entertainment would attend the film festival, and they were all excited. Chu Jiayao was a big shot in the entertainment industry. He was the boss of Summit Entertainment. Not only did he have a good eye for talent, but he also had outstanding looks. Even when he stood next to Pei Nanshu, his aura didn't pale in comparison. Some reporters wanted to seize this opportunity to stop him and interview him. To their surprise, Chu Jiayao walked in their direction. Chu Jiayao was like a smiling tiger. His eyes lingered on Gao Jiwei's face as he grinned. I heard that someone is trying to poach Summit Entertainment's talent. Chapter 431. Everyone, including Gao Jiwei, was stunned when they heard Chu Jiayao's words. For a moment, no one understood what Chu Jiayao meant. Someone was trying to poach Summit Entertainment's talent? Who would be so bold as to poach Chu Jiayao's talent? Who was the talent that Chu Jiayao was referring to? After a moment of silence, a reporter couldn't help but ask cautiously, "President Chu, what do you mean by that? Who poached your talent?" Chu Jiayao smiled and said, "Mr. Gao Jiwei, didn't he say it himself just now?" What? Gao Jiwei? What had Gao Jiwei said? He had said. Gao Jiwei looked perplexed as well. The reporters tried to recall what Gao Jiwei had said. As long as Lin Yin behaved herself, he could sign her up. Damn it. What was Chu Jiayao trying to say? Could the talent that he was referring to be? That was impossible. He had to be crazy. How could that be possible? A second later, Chu Jiayao, who was still in disbelief, said, "I'm really sorry. Miss Lin Yin signed with Summit Entertainment more than a week ago. She is now an artist of Summit Entertainment." Chu Jiayao paused for a moment before he added, "Director Gao, I'm afraid it's inappropriate for you to poach my talent in front of everyone." Chu Jiayao's words once again caused a huge uproar. Almost everyone was stunned. Gao Jiwei was dumbfounded. What had Chu Jiayao just said? Was there something wrong with his hearing? *CK. What did I hear? Chu Jiayao. Chu Jiayao just said that Lin Yin is an artist of Summit Entertainment. You didn't hear wrongly. President Chu said that Lin Yin signed with Summit Entertainment more than a week ago. That can't be true. How is that possible? That's Summit Entertainment. The most impressive management company in the entertainment industry is backed by a multinational conglomerate, JM Corporation. They have strict requirements for their artists. How could Summit Entertainment sign Lin Yin? Chu Jiao, the CEO of Summit Entertainment, said it himself. How could it be false? Hearing this, everyone fell into a strange silence. That's right. The boss of Summit Entertainment had said it himself. How could it be false? Pei Nanshu scanned the crowd and said, Lin Yin has indeed signed with Summit Entertainment a week ago. Her manager, Zhao Hongling, has also signed with them. The company is preparing to announce it publicly. Even award-winning actor Pei Qian had personally confirmed it. This was a done deal, it couldn't be any more certain. Actually, Lin Yin wasn't the only one who was shocked. She glanced suspiciously at Pei Nanshu and the president of Summit Entertainment, Chu Jiao. What was going on? Didn't they say that the PR department would make an official announcement on Weibo? Why did Chu Jiao, the boss, and Pei Nanshu, the best actor, personally come out to announce it? Wasn't this official announcement a little too high? Lin Yin could only rejoice that it wasn't Pei Yuqing, otherwise, there would be no way to clean up this mess. Mr. Pei, are you telling the truth? Has Lin Yin really signed with Summit Entertainment? The reporters scrambled to ask questions. Pei Nanshu replied, Of course it's true. The Public Relations Department will make an official announcement soon. Chapter 432. A reporter quipped, Rumor has it that you took special care of Lin Yin and even helped her on the red carpet today because she signed with Summit Entertainment? We're both artists from the same company, so of course we take care of them. Pei Nanshu tacitly agreed. Everyone was speechless. Everyone's eyes darted to Gao Jiwei and Qian, who were dumbfounded. Lin Yin signed with Summit Entertainment more than a week ago. Why did Gao Jiwei claim that Lin Yin tried to seduce him to sign with Star Entertainment 4 days ago? Someone asked. Nonsense. Do you even need to ask? Gao Jiwei must have slandered her. Otherwise, Lin Yin would have signed with Summit Entertainment. Why would she need to seduce him and beg him to join Star Entertainment? Is he out of his mind? F***CK. In the end, the truth was that Gao Jiwei had been acting and directing by himself all along. At this moment, faced with more and more doubts, Gao Jiwei's mind had already gone blank, and cold sweat dripped down his forehead. Lin Yin and Zhao Hongling had told him that they had signed with other companies, but he hadn't believed them. He had even investigated them personally to make sure that they hadn't signed with other companies. How could he have imagined that Lin Yin would sign with Summit Entertainment? Furthermore, she had signed with them more than a week ago. This time, no matter how he tried to explain, he wouldn't be able to clear his name. Oh my God! Who would have thought that Gao Jiwei would look so indignant earlier on? He even said that Lin Yin had stripped naked and begged him to take her in. It turns out that he was just making up stories. He is really good at making up stories. No wonder Lin Yin said that she had no reason to do that. She has already signed with Summit Entertainment. Why would she look for Gao Jiwei? Gao Jiwei's subordinate and Qian, isn't she a good person either? She even tried to cover up Gao Jiwei's lies. I understand now. Gao Jiwei chased Lin Yin out and saw that she had become popular. Now he wants to sign her and earn more money. However, Lin Yin refused, so he resorted to this underhanded method to twist the truth and force Lin Yin to submit. This is too shameless. That must be it. Who would have thought that Lin Yin would sign with Summit Entertainment? TSK. What a slap to the face. By now, Gao Jiwei and Qian were the ones who couldn't explain themselves. Their evidence wasn't strong enough to begin with. Now that Summit Entertainment's boss and top artist had come out to announce it, the truth was out. Gao Jiwei wiped his sweat away and explained anxiously, No, it's not like that. It's a misunderstanding. That night Lin Yin wanted to talk to me about work. I must have misunderstood her. He had already told them how Lin Yin had seduced him. Who would believe him now that he was claiming that it was a misunderstanding? And Qian was filled with regret. If she had known this would happen, she would not have testified for Gao Jiwei. In the end, she was dragged into this mess by Gao Jiwei. If she slandered her peers like this, how was she going to survive in the industry in the future? Jiang Sifei, who had been waiting to watch the drama unfold, was even more anxious. Jiang Sifei lost control of herself and blurted out, This is impossible. How could Lin Yin sign with Summit Entertainment? Chapter 433. She was an award-winning actress, yet she had been rejected by Summit Entertainment. She had no choice but to sign with House of Millions Media, a subsidiary of Triumph Entertainment. How had Lin Yin managed to join a big company like Summit Entertainment? When Chu Jiao heard Jiang Sifei's question, he glanced at her sharply. Although he still had a smile on his face, there was no warmth in it. Summit Entertainment doesn't have to explain its decisions to outsiders. If anyone else had said this, they would have doubted him. However, Summit Entertainment had the right to be arrogant. After all, his boss was the CEO of JM Corporation. Who was he afraid of? Chu Jiao's words silenced everyone else's doubts. Jiang Xifei stood rooted to the ground, looking pale. She was so angry that her limbs had turned cold. Zhao Hongling and Lin Yan had both joined Summit Entertainment. This fact was enough to corrode her to the point of insanity from jealousy. In the end, this farce ended. Summit Entertainment's official Weibo account made an announcement shortly after the reporter's interview. It also announced that it reserved the right to pursue legal action against the person who had started the rumors. The netizens finally learned the truth. All of this turned out to be a self-directed and self-acted play by Gao Jiwei to distort the truth. The public's opinion changed instantly. Those who had cursed Lin Yan started to curse Gao Jiwei again. Some of them were shocked that Lin Yan had joined Summit Entertainment. I didn't expect this to be the truth. How could Gao Jiwei be so shameless? Actually, there wasn't any concrete evidence. Gao Jiwei and his artists had spread rumors without any proof. In the end, everyone believed them without a second thought. Lin Yan is really unlucky this time. If she hadn't signed with Summit Entertainment, she wouldn't have been able to clear her name. Let's stand on Lin Yan's side this time. Regardless of what people have said about her, she has indeed been wrongly accused this time. For a female artist, this kind of accusation was simply trying to ruin her. If you can't get her, you'll destroy her? That's too scary. At the same time, in a luxurious villa in the capital city, Lin Shuya had also received the news. Clang. She threw the cup in her hand onto the ground forcefully. Lin Yan has signed with Summit Entertainment? How is that possible? Initially, Lin Shuya hadn't even bothered to make a move. She had been certain that Gao Jiwei would deal with Lin Yan, so she had been waiting for them to fight. All she needed to do was add fuel to the fire. Who would have thought that Lin Yan would sign with Summit Entertainment without anyone knowing? It would have been fine if it had been any other company, but it had to be Summit Entertainment. No matter how powerful Triumph Entertainment was, it couldn't be compared to Summit Entertainment. If Lin Yan really signed with Summit Entertainment, it would be extremely difficult for her to do anything to her in the future. He Shanshan chimed in to fawn over her. Cousin, don't be too angry. So what if Lin Yan was lucky enough to sign with Summit Entertainment? Summit Entertainment has so many talented artists. She's nothing compared to them. Besides, you're about to star in an international production, while I'm still stuck at the bottom. She can't even touch your skirt. Lin Shuya's expression softened when she heard this. Lin Yan, I have underestimated you. However, this was also good. It was only interesting this way. Since she wants to experience the feeling of falling from heaven to hell, I don't mind fulfilling her wish. This time she was going to do it herself. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 434. After the interview, Lin Yan thanked Pei Nanshu and Chu Jiayao. You're welcome. She's our artist. Of course we have to protect her. Chu Jiayao, who didn't put on any airs, surveyed Lin Yan curiously. Oh yeah, Miss Lin. Are you very close to Nanshu? Chu Jiayao was really curious about Lin Yan and Pei Nanshu's relationship. Hence, he seized the opportunity to gossip. Lin Yan hadn't expected her boss to be so down-to-earth. She didn't know how to answer him. Pei Nanshu looked helpless. President Chu, didn't I tell you that we're just friends? We're just friends? I recommended Lin Yan to you because I think she's capable. Chu Jiayao clicked his tongue, looking as though he didn't believe him. Do you think this is the first time I've met you? You've never asked about the company's affairs. This is the first time you've recommended an artist to me. There must be something fishy going on. Chu Jiayao looked certain. Pei Nanshu exchanged a helpless glance with Lin Yan. At this rate, Chu Jiao's thoughts would get even more twisted. Sure enough, the next second, Chu Jiayao squinted his eyes and asked, in front of me, the boss, you two better tell me the truth. Are you two dating or not? Lin Yan was almost scared to death. She and Pei Nanshu were dating? How could that be possible? Pei Nanshu was speechless as well. President Chu, no. It's not what you think, Lin Yan chimed in. How could that be? There's absolutely nothing like that. Chu Jiao's eyes darted back and forth between them. If you're not dating, why would Nanshu be so protective of you? Although he seems gentle, he would never cross the line, especially when it comes to female artists. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan could tell that Chu Jiao wasn't just a gossipy old fox. He wasn't easy to fool. In order to prevent him from making more dangerous guesses, Lin Yan said, I'm actually related to Mr. Pei. You're related? Chu Jiao was startled. Why didn't I know that the Pei family had a relative like you? It wasn't that Chu Jiao looked down on Lin Yin, but the Pei family couldn't possibly have a relative like her. Lin Yin coughed softly and explained in the same way she had with Duo Duo. He's a distant relative who isn't related by blood. Mr. Pei is a kind person, so he was willing to help me? Chu Jiao narrowed his eyes. I'll take that as the truth. Then why didn't Nanshu help you before? Why wait until now? Lin Yin was rendered speechless as she muttered under her breath. That was because she had recently fallen in love with Pei Nanshu's big brother. That was why they had become relatives. Pei Nanshu didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he heard Lin Yan's muttering. There was nothing wrong with Lin Yan's words. What did you say? Chu Jiao hadn't heard Lin Yan. Lin Yan hastily replied, nothing. I mean, I'm telling the truth. I would never dare lie to you, President Chu. If I'm lying, may I be struck by lightning? Chu Jiao rubbed his chin. Really? Pei Nanshu interrupted Chu Jiao helplessly and told Lin Yan, you can go back now. Okay. I'll get going then. Lin Yan hurriedly left before Chu Jiao could continue asking questions. Chapter 435. She wasn't sure if Pei Nanshu and Pei Yutong had found their conscience after seeing the picture she had posted in the group chat, but for the first time, they had appeared at dinner together. Lin Yan was surprised. Dad, I'm home. Aren't you touched? Pei Yutong inched closer to Lin Yan, eager to claim credit. Pei Nanshu was used to Pei Yutong calling Lin Yan Dad whenever Big Brother wasn't around. He shook his head helplessly and chuckled. Lin Yan rolled her eyes at Pei Yutong. Why would I be touched? If you're so capable, come back and have dinner with your brother every day. Pei Yutong chuckled dryly. How could I do that? After all, I'm a runaway. This isn't appropriate. I think second brother is more suitable. Pei Nanshu hadn't expected that he would be betrayed by his own brother. He looked rather speechless. He was about to speak when he heard footsteps outside. Pei Yuqing had returned. Lin Yan hurried over to welcome him. She took his coat from him and asked, Mr. Pei, did you get off work so early today? Yeah. Have you settled the matter? Pei Yuqing lowered his head and kissed Lin Yan's forehead. Lin Yan was dumbfounded. This was simply like a pair of newlyweds. A husband would kiss his wife when he was home. Lin Yan, who was frightened by her own thoughts, hurriedly pretended to be nonchalant. She forced herself to remain calm and replied, Yeah. I didn't expect the boss of Summit Entertainment to speak up for me. Mr. Pei also explained the situation to the reporters. Pei Yuqing nodded. That's good. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yuqing, who seemed to have expected this. Ahem. Mr. Pei, did you arrange this? Pei Nanshu, who overheard their conversation, explained, Big Brother did ask me to do this. I happened to be there, so I asked President Chu to accompany me. Lin Yan muttered, That's true. Why? Are you not satisfied? Pei Yuqing chuckled. Didn't you think that my announcement was too high? Lin Yan was speechless. Was that why he was so considerate as to lower the standard for her? However, it was still too high. Okay. How could a small artist like her be personally announced by the company's boss? What's more, Pei Nanshu was a top celebrity in the entertainment industry. Alright. For a big boss, this was probably considered very low in his eyes. No. I'm satisfied. Very satisfied. Lin Yan replied meekly, Thank you, Mr. Pei. Thank you so much. Pei Yuqing narrowed his eyes when he heard her address him. Miss Lin, the way you address me doesn't seem to be very familiar. Lin Yan was taken aback. That seemed to be the case. She had always addressed him politely. Pei Yutong picked up the apple on the table and munched on it as he said, That's right. I wanted to say that big sister-in-law is really weird. Lin Yan glared at Pei Yutong and scratched her head. She glanced at Pei Yuqing and said, I'm used to it. I can't change it. If I call you by your name, it would be disrespectful. Chapter 436. Lin Yan instinctively called him you again. She tried to imagine herself calling Pei Yuqing by his nickname. Yuqing? Watching? *CK. She couldn't call him that. It was too mushy. Lin Yan, who was a straightforward girl, couldn't bring herself to call him that. Big Brother can't wait for you to be disrespectful to him. Pei Yutong muttered. Lin Yan was speechless. Could this kid shut up? Lin Yan's eyes darted around as she grinned at Pei Yuqing. Mr. Pei, actually, I think it's good to address you as you. Pei Yuqing raised his eyebrows and glanced at the girl. Oh? Why do you say that, Miss Lin? Lin Yan coughed softly and explained slowly, the meaning of the word you is that, you're in my heart. Pei Yuqing was speechless, Pei Nanshu was speechless. Pei Yutong was speechless. You're in my heart. The girl's clear voice was like the purest jade that gently knocked on Pei Yuqing's heart. In an instant, Pei Yuqing felt as though the entire world was melting in front of him. The you, which had been a distance between them, had suddenly become charming and gentle. Pei Yuqing seemed startled for a moment before he smiled helplessly and gazed at the girl. "Miss Lin, you're really good at coaxing people." Lin Yan blushed instantly. How could she be good at it? He was the one who had flirted with her without a care for his life. Pei Yutong nodded vigorously when he heard his big brother. Big sister-in-law was really good at coaxing people. That level of skill was simply like a lotus flower on the tongue. He simply gasped in amazement and prostrated himself in worship. The next morning, Lin Yan woke up naturally. Everything had been resolved so she could finally relax for a while. She would just have to wait for Sister Ling's work arrangements. Lin Yan had just finished washing up when Pei Yutong's voice came from outside. "Daddy, are you there?" "Daddy." "The door isn't locked," replied Lin Yan. Pei Yutong pushed the door open and strode in. Pei Yutong was different from usual. He looked as though he had been injected with adrenaline, and his eyes gleamed with excitement. "Why are you so excited? Did the team win?" Lin Yan sat on the couch and glanced at Pei Yutong. "The team?" Pei Yutong was startled when he heard Lin Yan. He snapped back to his senses and shook his head hastily. "I didn't win. My team did participate in a few competitions, but we lost more than we won." "Oh yeah, my team competed against the He family team and won." Lin Yan was speechless. Could he not emphasize that they had beaten the He family team? Wasn't it a given that they had beaten the He family team? However, Lin Yan wasn't too worried about the He family team. The He family team had managed to attract a lot of sponsors and investments. Their equipment had also been upgraded. "I'm not here to talk to you about winning against the He family team." Pei Yutong surveyed his surroundings before he approached Lin Yan with a mysterious look on his face. "Sister-in-law, please don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone." Pei Yutong said cautiously. "Sister-in-law, please don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone." Pei Yutong said cautiously. "Why are you being so mysterious?" Lin Yan's curiosity was piqued by Pei Yutong. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 437. "No, you have to promise me that you won't tell anyone. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable." Pei Yutong quipped. "Then don't tell me." Lin Yan shrugged nonchalantly. Pei Yutong was startled when he heard Lin Yan. He hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be so unconventional. "Sister-in-law, why are you like this?" "Forget it. I'll tell you." Pei Yutong inched closer to Lin Yan. "Hurry up and say it." Lin Yan sounded impatient. "Sister-in-law, you're considered a legend in the racing industry. You should know the racetrack's Grim Reaper, right?" Pei Yutong muttered softly. Lin Yan hadn't expected Pei Yutong to mention Yeva all of a sudden. What did Pei Yutong's words have to do with Yeva? "I've heard of her." "What?" Lin Yan nodded. "Sister-in-law, let me tell you something. The racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, is the defending champion of the first level of the international competition. She used to compete at the pinnacle of the competition. Lang Mang and Butcher were all taught by Yeva." Pei Yutong looked as though he was about to tell her everything. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched as she interrupted him hastily. "I know all that. What are you trying to say?" "Sister-in-law, the racetrack's Grim Reaper has been retired for some time. There hasn't been any news about her. Aren't you curious about where she went after she retired?" Pei Yutong stared intently at Lin Yan. Lin Yan felt a little guilty when Pei Yutong sized her up. Could this kid have discovered her identity? That shouldn't be the case. When had she exposed herself? Could Qi Xiaoyuan have told her? Where? Lin Yan asked softly. "Ahaha. Sister-in-law, let me tell you a piece of breaking news. The racetrack's Grim Reaper has appeared. She's right in front of you." Pei Yutong exclaimed excitedly. Lin Yan sighed heavily when she heard Pei Yutong. Indeed, she had been exposed. However, how had Pei Yutong discovered her identity? "How did you know? Who told you?" Lin Yan frowned as she stared at Pei Yutong. "It's a friend from my circle," replied Pei Yutong after a moment of silence. "Is Qi Xiaoyuan your friend?" asked Lin Yan. "Qi Xiaoyuan?" Pei Yutong looked confused. "Who? It's not Qi Xiaoyuan?" Qi Xiaoyuan was the only one who knew about her identity. However, if Qi Xiaoyuan hadn't betrayed her, who else could it be? Had someone else found out about her identity and told Pei Yutong? "Sister-in-law, let me tell you the truth. My friend and I have been invited to attend a private banquet in 3 days. The racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, is currently in the capital city. However, she doesn't appear in public. Hence, only the elites of our circle know about this. Pei Yutong replied. Lin Yin was confused. She had misunderstood. The racetrack's Grim Reaper wasn't referring to her, but someone else. I think I understand what you're trying to say. Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong and replied slowly, You're saying that the elites of our circle have invited the racetrack's Grim Reaper to attend a private banquet. Chapter 438. Pei Yutong nodded eagerly. Yeah, you're right. Sister-in-law, you're so smart. That's exactly what I meant. Although Pei Yutong was extremely excited, Lin Yin had fallen silent. The other racetrack's Grim Reaper. If the racetrack's Grim Reaper was someone else, who was she? F***CK, there's actually an imposter who came to Hua Nation to impersonate me. Wasn't she belittling her? Even if she had retired, how could anyone impersonate her? Sister-in-law, I'm really excited. Do you know that the racetrack's Grim Reaper is my idol? Sister-in-law, have you watched the first level of the international competition? Yeva is really dashing and suave. She can dominate the first level of the international competition just by lying down. I would rather my team lose 10 more races just to meet her. Pei Yutong was getting more excited as he spoke. Pei Yutong continued when Lin Yin remained silent. Sister-in-law, are you interested? Do you want to meet the racetrack's Grim Reaper with me? This is an opportunity that many people would kill to get. No matter how much money they spend, they won't be able to get in. Where is the private banquet being held? Asked Lin Yin. It hasn't been decided yet. They will inform me when they receive any news. I think the person who invited the racetrack's Grim Reaper is an actress. Lin Xia. She is the one who organized this private banquet and invited many famous racers. Pei Yutong pondered this for a moment before he replied. Lin Xia. Lin Yan's face darkened when she heard Pei Yutong. Lin Xia had caused her to be banned from competing years ago. However, Lin Xia hadn't known that she was Yeva. Besides, Lin Xia wasn't familiar with the racing industry. She only knew that she was a professional racer. This time, Lin Xia had invited Yeva, which was interesting. Others might not be aware, but Lin Yin knew that the Yeva that Lin Xia had invited had to be an imposter. Lin Yin had guessed that Lin Xia had purposely found a fake Yeva so that she could land the role of Yeva in legend. However, on second thought, she realized that it wasn't realistic. No matter what, Lin Xia was a reputable figure in the entertainment industry. If he found a fake Yeva, it would be too risky. The consequences would be dire if it was exposed. However, it was possible that Lin Xia had been deceived by Yeva's imposter. Of course, it had nothing to do with her whether Lin Xia had been deceived or not. However, she couldn't tolerate the fact that someone had impersonated her and used her name to deceive others. Before he could respond, Lin Yan's phone rang. Pei Yutong said, Sister-in-law, think about it. If you want to go, let me know. I'll see if I can get another spot. Pei Yutong immediately slipped away. Lin Yin ignored him and glanced at the caller ID. Zich1Z God. Lin Yin answered God Z's call without hesitation. Is this Miss Lin? God Z's voice came through the phone. Yes, it's me, replied Lin Yin. Miss Lin, are you free this afternoon? Let's go for a cup of coffee. God Z had suddenly called to invite her out for a cup of coffee. God Z, is there something important? Lin Yin got straight to the point. God Z's laughter could be heard from the other end of the line. Indeed, it's about a legendary figure in the racing industry. Which coffee shop? Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 439. Before long, Lin Yin received God Z's address. Since it was still early, Lin Yin browsed through her phone. No media had reported that Yeva had appeared in the capital city yet. It seemed like Pei Yutong was right. Only a few people in the industry knew about Yeva's appearance. Since she had assumed someone else's identity, she naturally had to keep a low profile. Lin Yin had never revealed her identity to outsiders or given interviews to the media. Yet they had managed to find a loophole. In the afternoon, Lin Yin headed to the cafe where she had agreed to meet God Z. Lin Yin pushed the door open and entered a private room. There were around a dozen ZH1 members in the room. It seemed like all of them were present. Miss Lin, God Z, Mumu, and the others stood up to greet Lin Yin. Lin Yin glanced at God Z and asked, Is this about Yeva? The ZH1 members were taken aback when they heard Lin Yin. God Z asked in surprise, How did you know, Miss Lin? Indeed, Lin Yan's racing skills were top-notch in the country. However, she was still a member of the He family team. A team like the He family team wouldn't be able to interact with the higher-ups of the racing industry, let alone be invited. Hence, the ZH1 members were surprised that Lin Yan knew about Yeva. Pei Yutong told me, Lin Yan explained. I see. God Z nodded. Lin Yan and Pei Yutong were close, and the ZH1 members knew that. It wouldn't be strange if Pei Yutong had told Lin Yan. Miss Lin, so you already know about it? God Z glanced at Lin Yan and chuckled softly. To be honest, we were shocked when we first heard the news. Miss Lin, you should know about the racetrack's Grim Reaper. She is considered a legend in the racing industry. Yeva retired temporarily due to her health issues. I didn't expect that she would appear in the capital city. We were even invited. Mumu's eyes gleamed with excitement. Lin Yan sighed inwardly as she studied the ZH1 members' expressions. It seemed like that imposter had some tricks up her sleeves. Otherwise, a top team like ZH1 wouldn't have believed her so easily. Of course I know Yeva. Lin Yan grinned. Miss Lin, are you interested in attending the private dinner in a few days? God Z asked Lin Yan. Sure. I happen to be free during this period. It would be great if I could broaden my horizons. Lin Yan nodded with a smile. This private banquet was related to Lin Shuya, so Lin Shuya naturally wouldn't invite him. However, given Pei Yutong's relationship with ZH1, it shouldn't be a problem for her to attend. By the way, I haven't had the time to thank Miss Lin. God Z stood up and stared at Lin Yan intently. Miss Lin, you're ZH1's benefactor. If it hadn't been for you, our team would have been in trouble, replied God Z. Lin Yan understood that God Z was referring to the competition with WW. You're welcome. It was nothing, replied Lin Yan. God Z, Mumu, the ZH1 members were speechless. WW was a formidable opponent to them, yet Lin Yan had said that it was a piece of cake. However, it was true that Lin Yan had crushed WW's performance on the track. Given Lin Yan's racing skills, she would definitely be able to become one of the top teams in the country if she trained well. She might even have a chance of entering the third level of the international competition. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 440. After the ZH1 members left, Qi Xiaoyuan called Lin Yan. Lin Yan didn't think too much about it as she answered his call. The moment Lin Yan answered, Qi Xiaoyuan's excited voice rang out. Goddess? My idol. You picked up my call. Oh my god. Am I dreaming? Although Qi Xiaoyuan had Lin Yan's contact number, he hadn't dared to contact her. To Qi Xiaoyuan, Lin Yan was an ethereal idol who should only appear at the top international competitions. He, on the other hand, was a fanatic who had been cheering for Yeva. Hence, he would usually think twice about talking to his idol. Boss, is that really you? Am I dreaming? Lin Yan was speechless. Boss, say something. Why don't you calm down first? Asked Lin Yan. Okay, boss. Please don't hang up. Give me a few seconds. As expected, there was no sound from the other end of the phone. A few seconds later, Qi Xiaoyuan's voice rang out again. Boss, can I see you? I have an urgent matter to report to you. Lin Yan glanced at the desserts and drinks in the room. She hadn't touched them earlier because she had been discussing the private dinner with ZH1. I'm at the Lu Ding Cafe in the North City. I'll treat you to coffee. Lin Yan glanced at the desserts on the table. And desserts? Wow. Really? Oh my god. If this is a dream, please let me never wake up. Boss, wait for me. I'll be there in a minute. Qi Xiaoyuan had helped her a lot earlier, so she would treat this table of food as a gift to him. Not long after Qi Xiaoyuan hung up the phone, Qi Xiaoyuan pushed open the door and rushed into the private room. Boss. Qi Xiaoyuan was as excited as a child when he saw Lin Yan. Have a seat. Lin Yan gestured to an empty seat. Boss, you're too extravagant. You ordered so much food, and even got a private room. Boss, do you really dote on your fans? Qi Xiaoyuan eyed Lin Yan as he sat down. Oh yeah. Thank you for helping me last time. Lin Yan grinned at Qi Xiaoyuan. If it weren't for Qi Xiaoyuan, she would have been exposed. Boss, look at what you're saying. I'm your #1 diehard VIP fan. I know your style. You never reveal your identity in front of outsiders, and you never accept interviews from the media. Besides, it was really a piece of cake last time. There's nothing more to say. Qi Xiaoyuan said. Qi Xiaoyuan behaved in a completely different manner when he was with Wei Shufeng. In front of Lin Yan, he had transformed from a mature and venomous man to a helpless child. By the way, boss, I want to tell you something shocking. At that moment, Qi Xiaoyuan's excited expression had disappeared. Anger was written all over his face. Boss, Do you know that there's AF asterisk king bastard who has the gall to impersonate you, boss? Lin Yin was startled when she heard him. Over the phone, Qi Xiaoyuan had said that he had something urgent to report to her. She hadn't expected that it would be about Yeva. Lin Yin couldn't help but study Qi Xiaoyuan. When they had first met, she had assumed that Qi Xiaoyuan was just an official of a competition. However, she had discovered that Qi Xiaoyuan and Wei Shufeng had appeared in the VIP room. She was afraid that this official's identity wasn't as simple as it seemed. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 441. I don't know which son of AB asterisk Tisage dared to impersonate you, boss. Her family's ancestral grave was dug up. She did such a heartless thing. Does she think she's a chameleon? She can change into whatever color she wants. Lin Yin couldn't help but sigh at Qi Xiaoyuan's indignant expression. This was what a true fan was like. No, I have to expose this. I want the media to judge her. How dare she impersonate Yeva? How dare her grandfather criticize her for playing chess? How dare her mother buy groceries at a higher price? How dare her father dance at a public square? How dare her mother find out? Lin Yin was speechless. What a ruthless person. Calm down. Lin Yin glanced at Qi Xiaoyuan. She knew that someone was impersonating Yeva. Boss, I'm very calm, replied Qi Xiaoyuan. Lin Yin was speechless. If he was calm, what would happen if he wasn't? My identity is a secret between the two of us. You can't tell anyone? Lin Yin whispered softly. Qi Xiaoyuan slumped against his chair when he heard Lin Yin. This is a secret with boss. Oh my god. I actually have a secret with boss. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. Why did it sound so strange to hear him say that? Boss, don't worry. I won't tell anyone. However, how should we deal with the imposter? Qi Xiaoyuan sipped his coffee as he asked Lin Yin. Lin Yin asked Qi Xiaoyuan about the imposter. However, Qi Xiaoyuan didn't know anything either. He had no idea what had happened. Qi Xiaoyuan had heard about it from Wei Shufeng before he had received an invitation to a private banquet. However, he wasn't sure where the imposter had come from. It was already evening when she left the cafe. Lin Yin didn't think too much about the imposter. Anyway, she would follow Ziech-1 and Pei Yutong to the banquet in a few days. Lin Yin hailed a cab and headed to the He family's mansion. Ever since Lin Yin had defeated WW, the He family team's status had soared. Recently, they had attracted a lot of sponsors and investments. However, the He family team had lost to another team in the past few days. They hadn't won a single race. Lin Yin knocked on the door of the old mansion. He Lifeng opened the door and was pleasantly surprised to see Lin Yin. Sister Yin, you're finally here. He Lifeng had called Lin Yin a few times in the past few days, but Lin Yin had been busy, so she hadn't answered. Lin Yin was startled when she saw He Lifeng's expression. She walked into the old mansion with a puzzled expression. There were about a dozen people in the mansion. They were the He family team's navigators and racers. However, the members of the He family team were frowning and sighing in frustration. Yan's here. When He Dinkuan saw Lin Yin, he hurried out of the room. Lin Yin nodded at He Dinkuan. Why didn't you tell me that you were coming? Have you had dinner? He Dinkuan asked. Grandfather, I've eaten. Did something happen to the team? Lin Yin asked curiously, sensing that something was amiss. Logically speaking, the He family team's reputation had soared after they had won against WW. They had also attracted sponsors and investments. Logically speaking, they should have a bright future ahead of them, so there shouldn't be any problems. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 442. Before He Dinkuan could respond, He Lifeng strode forward with a worried expression on his face. Sister Yin, nothing happened. Don't worry. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched when she heard He Lifeng. If nothing had happened, could he have changed his expression? He Lifeng, the team is about to disband. How can you lie to your conscience? One of the navigators glanced at He Lifeng. For some reason, Lin Yin realized that ever since she had joined the He family, every member of the He family team had been glaring at her with disgust and disgust. Exactly. Just tell her the truth. There's no need to be so secretive. After all, why would you be afraid of others finding out about what you did? Lin Yin was perplexed as she listened to the He family team. Had something happened to the He family team? And it had something to do with her? Shut up. He Lifeng frowned. This has nothing to do with Sister Yin. If it hadn't been for Sister Yin, the He family team would have disbanded a long time ago. Even if it was disbanded, it would have been done in an open and above-board manner. Look at her now. She did something so despicable and made all the members of the He family team take the blame. You guys. He Lufeng gritted his teeth, but he didn't know how to deal with everyone's comments. Xiaofeng, what happened? Lin Yan's eyes trailed to He Lufeng as she asked. He Lufeng fell silent for a long time before he sighed and glanced at Lin Yan helplessly. Sister Yin, it's because of the competition between the He family team and WW, Lin Yan couldn't understand. Hadn't the He family team and WW team won the competition? What else was there to say? Ah, Lin Yan, how dare you ask? It's all because the two of you colluded to fix the competition. ZH1 and WW didn't suffer any losses. In the end, we have to bear all the pressure. Qing Li, who had been silent all this while, looked at Lin Yan with disdain in his eyes as he sneered coldly. He Dinkuan frowned at Qing Li's words. That's enough. I'll think of a way to deal with it. Deal with? Qing Li shifted his gaze from Lin Yan to He Dinkuan. Old master, how should we deal with this? Lin Yan is your granddaughter, so of course you'll side with her. Besides, she isn't a racer and doesn't rely on racing to make a living. Of course she doesn't care. However, all of us will be accused of rigging the competition. Even if the He family team disbanded, which team would dare to hire us? Many members of the He family team agreed with Qing Li's words. Old master, Qing Li is right. If your granddaughter hadn't colluded with someone else to fix the competition, the He family team wouldn't have ended up like this. That's right. If we had known earlier, we would have disbanded the He family team. Now our careers have been ruined. Lin Yan, you're a member of the He family and the old master's biological granddaughter. How could you treat the He family team and the old master this way? Has your conscience been eaten by a dog? Chapter 443. Have you had enough? If you want to leave the He family team, just leave. Sister Yin doesn't owe you anything. Even if the competition was rigged, it has nothing to do with you. He Lufeng's face was red as he bellowed at the He family team. So what if the competition was rigged? What did it have to do with them? They were weak, so no other team had been willing to accept them. That was their own problem. How could they blame others for it? Xiaofeng, what happened? Lin Yan glanced at He Lufeng expressionlessly. Lin Yan knew very well whether the competition with WW had been rigged or not. If she had to compete against a team like WW, she might as well give up racing for the rest of her life. That would be an insult to her as well as to the racing industry. Of course, Lin Yan couldn't be bothered to explain herself to the He family team. Sister Yin. Actually, there were some doubts in the industry at first. They said that the He family team couldn't have beaten WW. There must be something fishy about the result. Furthermore, WW's huge fan base has been stirred up, so the officials have started to investigate, He Lufeng explained softly to Lin Yan. Lin Yan fell into deep thought when she heard him. Actually, Lin Yan wasn't surprised by this outcome. If she had to put herself in their shoes, she wouldn't have believed it either if an ordinary low-level team had suddenly won against the top team in the international competition. After all, no one knew who she was. Hence, Sister Ling had wanted to use this incident to salvage her reputation. However, after much consideration, Lin Yan decided not to drag racing into the entertainment industry. Sister Yin, someone has uploaded the video of our race against WW. Many famous celebrities have analyzed the video frame by frame. In the end, Sister Yin, your performance wasn't a race. It was just a show. He Lufeng quipped. Lin Yin fell into deep thought. Indeed, she had never taken WW seriously. Her competition with WW on the track was indeed a show. Hence, many people, including the organizers, believe that Sister Yin isn't a good racer. You merely won against WW. Frankly speaking, you colluded with WW and ZH1 to fix the race. He Lufeng sighed heavily. If he hadn't witnessed Lin Yan's driving skills, he would have doubted her. WW was one of the top teams in the country. Although it wasn't the best, it was considered a top team. How could someone like Lin Yan, who wasn't even a professional racer, defeat the entire team? Many people in the industry are speculating that Sister Yin is an actress. Perhaps you have colluded with WW and ZH1 to fake the competition to increase your popularity? Lin Yan's eyes remained impassive as she listened to He Lufeng. The most infuriating thing is that WW hasn't responded to these accusations. It's as though they've admitted it. Now all the criticism is directed at the He family team. Out of the 3 sponsors that we had, 2 of them have left. The investors are hesitating and are preparing to withdraw their funds. He Lufeng added. I understand. Lin Yan nodded slightly. WW's silence was within Lin Yan's expectations. Think about it. A top team like WW had already lost to an unknown low-level team. They had already lost all their face. For mobile users, please browse the web for a better reading experience. Chapter 444. Now that there were accusations of match fixing, WW couldn't wait for it to happen. Besides, the He family team had lost a few races in a row. They had already been accused of rigging the competition. All WW had to do was to keep quiet. They wouldn't admit that they had rigged the competition, nor would they deny that they had done so. This was akin to a fig leaf for WW. I knew it. How could she possibly be so capable? How could she have defeated WW alone? That's impossible. After all, she had colluded with them to fix the competition. She wanted to raise her reputation in the entertainment industry and throw the He family team into a pit of fire. The navigator of the He family glared at Lin Yan with a dark expression on his face. Miss Lin Yan, if you were that capable, would you still be in the entertainment industry? Qing Li sneered coldly. Lin Yan ignored their sarcasm. Racers and navigators at their level weren't worth arguing with. Her priority now was to solve the problem. No one would believe her even if she tried to explain herself. If someone said that she wasn't capable, there was no need to argue with them. All she had to do was prove herself with her actions. That was all. Sister Yin, the officials haven't exposed the rumor that the competition was rigged yet. If they make an official statement one day, our team will be doomed. He Lufeng quipped. Grandfather, are there any more competitions? Lin Yan's eyes trailed to He Dinkuan. He Dinkuan nodded and replied, there are still a few small competitions. The He family team was still considered a junior team. Hence, the competitions they competed in were of the same level. The He family team can't continue to lose. Lin Yan pondered this for some time before she spoke up. Given the He family team's current standard, even if they didn't accuse them of rigging the competition, they wouldn't be able to get any sponsors or investments if they continued to lose. Sister Yin, we want to win too. However, we aren't as good as the other teams. Even though we have similar equipment, it will be difficult for us to win. He Lufeng sighed heavily. Lin Yan was well aware of the He family team's racing standards. It would be too much for them to win based on their own abilities. However, the He family team had to change no matter what. Otherwise, it would disband sooner or later. If one's physical strength was insufficient, then they could only replace the hardware. They had to replace all the He family racers who weren't strong enough. The He family team needed fresh blood. Lin Yan had already come up with a plan. Late at night, only Lin Yan, He Dinkuan, and He Lufeng were left in He Dinkuan's room. Sister Yan, what did you say? Did you replace all the members of the He family team? He Lufeng looked puzzled. If a team doesn't have the ability to control the racetrack, no matter how famous the He family team is, it will only end up being eliminated by other teams. What's the point? Quipped Lin Yan. Actually, He Lufeng and He Dinkuan knew what Lin Yan was talking about. But where could they get a group of capable players? Besides, they didn't have such a huge amount of funds. Even if they did, if they were really capable, why would they join a small team like the He family team? Lin Yan replied slowly, no one would reject the opportunity to stand at the top of the world. The top of the world? Old Master He Dinkuan and He Lufeng were taken aback, as they couldn't understand Lin Yan at all. Sister Yin, where is the top of the world? Don't tell me you're talking about the He family. He Lufeng looked awkward. If the He family team was at the top of the world, then the world would be a tragic sight. I'm at the top of the world, replied Lin Yan nonchalantly. Mobile users, please browse and read. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 445. After Lin Yan left, He Dinkuan sighed heavily and turned to He Lufeng. Xiaofeng, don't talk to Sister Yin about the He family team in the future. You will only add to her worries. Sister Yin has her own problems to deal with. He Dinkuan had treated Lin Yan's suggestion of replacing the He family team as a joke. Putting himself in their shoes, he was now a young and capable racer. No matter how much money he was offered, he wouldn't join a junior racer team that had no reputation and no future. It was tantamount to burying his professional youth. Grandfather, what about us? He Lufeng frowned. However, at that moment, Grandpa Xing fell silent and lit up the cigarette that he had quit for a long time. Xiaofeng. Racing has always been my dream. It has become an obsession. However, after so many years, I've suffered defeat and felt helpless. I'm not young anymore. I've been dreaming my whole life. Perhaps I've been dreaming wrongly. He Lufeng felt a little upset as he watched the old master's lonely back view. Yilifeng knew what racing meant to his grandfather. He had held on to this dream his whole life and had paid a huge price for it. It was an indispensable part of his grandfather's life. However, what had destroyed his grandfather wasn't the suspicion of rigging. It was the hopelessness of the He family team. Yilifeng could still vividly remember how his grandfather had humbly begged the organizers to sponsor and invest in the He family team. All for the continuation of the He family team. However, if the despair on the racetrack was the only thing he wanted, he might as well bury everything in the ground. Perhaps dreams weren't something he should have at his age. At Cloud Manor, the lights were off in Lin Yan's room. There was only a faint glow on the computer screen. Cries of surprise and excitement could be heard from the computer. The screen was showing the career of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. She won. This unknown newcomer defeated the king of the first level of the international competition. GD is the new king. Her name is Yeva. In an instant, Yeva's racing scenes flashed across the screen. Before long, it was Yeva's first failure. Apex tournament? This person has created countless miracles. He led the WZ team to the top, defeated GD and ushered in the new king of the tournament. However, Yeva and her team, WZ, had met the end of their reign in the tournament. On the computer it was clearly visible. The trophy was taken away. Yeva stood below the stage, trembling slightly as she stared at it. What followed was the fall of the new king into the abyss. She once swore that she would enter the pinnacle of the competition and obtain the trophy that belonged to her. Ever since she had been banned from competing, her passion for racing had been sealed. However, the regret he had for the tournament of the Apex had never disappeared. After some time, Lin Yan switched off her computer. The He family team was too important to her grandfather. She wouldn't give it up. However, she couldn't represent the He family team in every race. Since that was the case, perhaps she could choose a new group of teammates for herself. Just like his close team in the first league, WZ. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 446. Early the next morning, Lin Yan was woken up by Pei Yutang's call. Sister-in-law, are you awake? I'll go to your room later. I'm hanging up now. Pei Yutang hung up hastily before Lin Yan could respond. Lin Yan rubbed her half-opened eyes as she stared at the phone with an odd expression on her face. Pei Yutang rushed to Lin Yan's room excitedly. Sister-in-law, have you had breakfast? Pei Yutang sat on the couch casually as he glanced at Lin Yan, who had just finished washing up. Lin Yan shook her head. What do you think? That's not important. Pei Yutang grinned. Lin Yan was dumbfounded. What was the point of this kid asking her if she had eaten breakfast? Sister-in-law, did you know that I confirmed yesterday that the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, has really come to the country? A few executives have seen her before. I heard that she is very beautiful and elegant. Pei Yutang gazed at Lin Yan excitedly. Has the date of the private dinner been confirmed? Asked Lin Yan. Pei Yutang shook his head. It hasn't been decided yet, but it should be happening in the next few days. The top teams in the country will also be competing. I heard that they will be asking Yeva for advice on how to run a lap on the track. I wonder which team will be so lucky. Actually, Lin Yan couldn't figure out why someone would impersonate her. What was their motive? Is it for free? Asked Lin Yan casually. Sister-in-law, how could it be for free? Those people have already paid an exorbitant price to invite Yeva to the country. I reckon that they would have to pay an exorbitant price to race with Yeva. Pei Yutang pondered this for a moment before he explained. Pei Yutang glanced at Lin Yan and jumped in fright. Veins were popping on Lin Yan's forehead, and her eyes looked as though they were about to spit fire. Sister-in-law? Pei Yutang was dumbfounded. Lin Yan looked as though someone owed her millions. Although Lin Yan had been disgusted by the fact that someone had impersonated her, she hadn't been infuriated. However, impersonating her was an exorbitant price. This was absolutely intolerable. This deity was poor, but the impersonator had earned a lot of money. Oh, I'm fine. Lin Yan snapped back to her senses and composed herself before she grinned at him. For some reason, Pei Yutang felt that Lin Yan's smile was odd. Alright. Suddenly Lin Yan changed the topic and asked Pei Yutang, how much do you know about the domestic racing industry? Is there anyone who is good at racing? Is there anyone who is good at racing? Is there anyone who is cheap? Pei Yutang didn't seem to understand Lin Yan. What did it mean to be exceptionally good at racing but exceptionally bad in the racing circle? Pei Yutang lowered his head and pondered for a moment. Then his eyes lit up. Sister-in-law, it's true. Who? Asked Lin Yan curiously. Pei Yutang gazed at Lin Yan solemnly. Sister-in-law, look at you. You're really good at racing, but you're not doing well in the racing industry. You even belong to the He family team. Pei Yutang realized that Lin Yin had been talking about herself. Get lost. Lin Yin glared at Pei Yutang. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 447. Sister-in-law. Why are you asking? Pei Yutang grinned. I plan to recruit some capable racers to join the He family team. Lin Yin didn't hide anything from Pei Yutang. Pei Yutang fell silent for a moment before he frowned at Lin Yin. Sister-in-law, are you serious? She wanted to recruit a capable racer for the He family team. Of course, that wasn't the main point. The main point was that Lin Yin wanted them to be cheap. If Lin Yin hadn't said this, Pei Yutang would have guffawed out loud. This joke had gone too far. The He family team was a low-class team that had never won a race before. Even if they were willing, they wouldn't be able to recruit a racer. Even if they were, they wouldn't be capable enough. Even if they were, how could they let Lin Yin work for free? And it had to be cheap? In this day and age, the average racer's salary was extremely high, okay? Be serious, Lin Yin replied. Okay, sister-in-law. Pei Yutang suppressed his laughter as he replied solemnly, no. Lin Yin was speechless. Sister-in-law, if there really is such a person, remember to tell me. I will poach him, Pei Yutang said. What kind of joke was this? Even his own team was in such a miserable state. It was hard to say whether they were dead or alive. Professional racers? Where was he? He wanted one. Before Lin Yin could respond, Pei Yutang's eyes suddenly sparkled. Sister Yin, sister-in-law? No, daddy. Come to my team. Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutang. I refuse. Sister-in-law, what future does the He family team have? I will pay you 3 times. No, I will pay you 5 times the price. Do you want to join my team? Pei Yutang blurted out anxiously. If Lin Yin hadn't brought this up, Pei Yutang would have forgotten that he had a genius by his side. It would be unforgivable if he poached her. Lin Yin couldn't help but smack her forehead and sigh inwardly. She shouldn't have asked Pei Yutang these questions. Pei Yutang's team might not necessarily be better than the He family team. If Pei Yutang's team and the He family team were to compete on the track, it would be like 2 chickens pecking at each other. However, Pei Yutang's team still couldn't be compared to the He family's team. Pei Yutang didn't need to worry about sponsorships and investments, nor was he afraid that his team would be disbanded. In terms of ability, the He family team and Pei Yutang's team wouldn't be afraid of each other even if they were to compete on the track. The other teams were competing to see who was stronger. As for the He family team and Pei Yutang's team, they were competing to see who was better. She would rather die than join his team. Sister-in-law, the He family team is such a weak team. Why don't we disband it? To put it bluntly, we were able to beat WW previously because of the He family team. It was all because of you. The He family team is too weak. Don't you feel aggrieved being in the He family team? However, Lin Yan's words struck Pei Yutang like a blow to his soul. Lin Yan stared at Pei Yutang intently. Your team has raced 12 times in the past 2 months and lost all of them. The He family team has raced 12 times and lost 10 times. If I remember correctly, the team that lost to the He family team was yours. I watched that race. It was an exciting one. Chapter 448. Indeed, the He family team was extremely lousy. It wouldn't be a problem for anyone else to say this, but where did Pei Yutang get the courage to say this? As Lin Yin recounted the competition and how Pei Yutang's team had lost to the He family team, the smile on Pei Yutang's face gradually froze. At that moment, Pei Yutang finally understood that his team was indeed weak. They had even lost to the He family team before. However, why had Lin Yin brought this up? This was a huge humiliation to Pei Yutang. It was a humiliation that would nail his racing career to the pillar of shame. Big sister-in-law, listen to me. Actually, we lost to the He family team, because I didn't compete personally. Pei Yutang sounded indignant. Lin Yin was speechless. Lin Yin had no time to listen to Pei Yutang's nonsense. She chased him out of the room and called ZH1's God Z. The content of the call was the same. ZH1 was a top team, so Lin Yin wasn't familiar with the racing industry in the country. Hence, she wanted to ask God Z. Initially, God Z had agreed readily. However, when he found out that Lin Yin wanted to recruit racers for the He family team, he fell silent. Any capable racer, regardless of their potential or level, would never agree to join a low-level team like the He family team. No matter how high the salary was, it wasn't realistic. It would be a joke for them to do so. Lin Yin hung up helplessly. God Z was right. Any capable racer wouldn't be willing to join the He family team. At most, they would attract some useless racers just like the current He family team members. Since she couldn't count on anyone else, Lin Yin could only search for information on the racing industry in the country. Where were the top teams? Perhaps they were racers who had retired due to some reason. However, after searching for half a day, she found nothing other than the addresses of the team's headquarters. Since there were still a few days to go before the imposter's private banquet, Lin Yin decided to try her luck at the top teams and see if she could poach racers with potential. Of course, Lin Yin didn't dare to poach racers without a reason. The top racers in the country not only received high salaries, but they also received great fame. However, this was limited to the country. At most, they could only rush into the third level of the World Championship. They could only get a ticket to the World Championship to experience the charm of the World Championship. However, what Lin Yin could give them was something that none of the top teams in the country could. She had the ability to lead those capable professional racers into the world of professional racing. It wasn't just a matter of getting a ticket to the world competition and experiencing the atmosphere of the world competition. Then they would be defeated and return to their countries dejectedly, lamenting the strength of the third division league. What Lin Yin could give them was to lead them to the third level, the second level, and even the first level. Of course, this depended on what kind of racer she was able to poach. If it was the He family team, she would forget about it. She didn't have the ability to do so. Chapter 449. In the afternoon, Lin Yin arrived alone at the headquarters of a prestigious team in the country. D1. D1 was also a prestigious team in the country, so it was more famous than ZH1. Based on Lin Yan's understanding, there were many talented racers in D1. Many young racers had retired and become coaches in D1. Lin Yin stayed at D1 as a visitor for half a day and found a chance to interact with some of the young racers. She even tried to seduce them. However, Lin Yin wasn't very successful. Almost everyone who had been poached by Lin Yin looked at Lin Yin as though she was a retard. In the end, Lin Yin had no choice but to leave and go home for dinner. Although it was a bad start, it was within Lin Yan's expectations. If it was so easy to poach racers from prestigious teams, it would be ridiculous. Putting aside the He family team status in the country, Lin Yin and the He family team were very poor. To put it bluntly, Lin Yin was trying to gain something without risking anything. She had painted a big picture in front of them. That was why Lin Yin was regarded as mentally retarded. However, if Lin Yin used the identity of the racetrack's Grim Reaper, the top racers in the country would be willing to give her everything they had to beg her to join the He family team. Lin Yin wasn't discouraged even though she had failed. The next day she visited another prestigious team. However, the results were the same. Other than the number of people who were mentally retarded, there were a few more. After 2 days without any results, Lin Yin had no choice but to calm down and think of a solution. Indeed, she wasn't persuasive at all. She had to think from a different perspective. Perhaps she shouldn't poach racers from prestigious teams. She should look for a new team with potential. The third day, Lin Yin arrived at Fire's headquarters. She had wanted to follow her plan 2 days ago and pretend to be a tourist. In the end, the Fire team didn't allow anyone to enter. She couldn't even enter the door this time. Just as Lin Yin was about to leave, a shy young man in clean clothes was sitting outside Fire's headquarters. From time to time he would sneak a peek at Lin Yin. As the boy sized Lin Yin up, Lin Yin noticed him as well. Before long, Lin Yan's eyes landed on the boy. Their eyes met in an instant. The boy quickly averted his gaze and lowered his head. This boy didn't look very old, at most 20 years old. He should have just graduated from school. Are you a staff member of Fire? The boy asked suddenly as Lin Yin was about to leave. Lin Yan's eyes darted back to the boy as she shook her head. I'm not. Are you here to apply for a job? The boy seemed curious about Lin Yin. Are you also here to apply? Lin Yin walked over to the boy and grinned. Are you applying for a job at Fire? Yes. The boy nodded. But I was rejected just now. What position are you applying for? Asked Lin Yin. He's here to apply for the race driver position? The boy's voice was not loud. A racer? Lin Yin was startled. This boy came to Fire to apply to be a racer? However, looking at the boy's personality, he didn't seem to be suitable for driving fast. If the boy hadn't said so, Lin Yin would have assumed that he was here to apply for a job. Besides, a new team like Fire might not be one of the top teams in the country, but they had strict requirements for their racers. If one didn't have a certain level of fame or ability, Fire wouldn't recruit them. Mobile users, please continue reading. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 450. Teams that hadn't been in contact with the racing track before, or hadn't made a name for themselves on the racing track, and hadn't shown their full potential to others, were generally not accepted by ordinary teams, let alone a new star racing team like Fire. Have you raced before? Lin Yin glanced at the boy as she asked softly. Yeah, the boy nodded at Lin Yin. It's just a friendly competition. It's a competition between racers. Lin Yin was speechless. A friendly competition wasn't considered a formal competition. Are you here to apply for a job? The boy studied Lin Yin curiously. He had asked the same question before but hadn't gotten an answer. I'm not. Lin Yin grinned at the boy. I'm here to recruit a racer. The child was startled when he heard Lin Yin. This was unexpected. Are you in charge of recruiting racers for Fire? The boy pressed on. I have nothing to do with Fire. I belong to another team. Lin Yin didn't hide the truth. Another team? What team is it? The boy's interest was piqued. Lin Yin pondered for a moment, but she didn't know how to tell him that she belonged to the He family team. Can I take a look at your resume? Lin Yin evaded the question. Yeah, sure. The boy opened his briefcase and took out a stack of documents carefully. Then he passed it to Lin Yin. Lin Yin had a rough understanding of the boy after she read his resume. The boy's name was Yun Xian. He had just graduated and loved racing. He had joined an amateur team when he was in school. However, because he was a student, he didn't have good equipment. Most of his equipment was rented and he had raced against some low-level teams. As for Yun Xian's results, he was first in each of the 16 matches. Furthermore, Yun Xian's resume contained his unique understanding of racing, as well as some of the navigator's professional knowledge and techniques. However, it was unrealistic for him to join a new team like Fire. Most of the players recruited by any large-scale top team were players with outstanding results. After reading Yun Xian's resume, Lin Yin said, if you want to join a top team, you have to prove yourself. It was the same for both domestic and foreign racing teams. Then, what should I do? Yun Xian glanced at Lin Yin. Lin Yin replied bluntly, join a small team first and build your reputation. If you're really capable, a good team will come and recruit you. A small motorcade, Yun Xian looked a little hesitant. But, I don't really want to join those small teams. It's not because of the salary but mainly because the small teams are too weak. I can't learn anything from them. Lin Yin studied Yun Xian with an odd expression on her face. So, the reason why this boy wanted to join a famous team was to learn? Famous racing teams paid a lot of money to hire racers so that they could win races for them. They didn't spend a lot of money to let racers learn, unless they showed amazing talent and potential in the early stages. Generally speaking, this kind of situation was very rare. Chapter 451. You just want to learn? Lin Yan's eyes flickered as she studied Yun Xian. I don't care about money. The boy nodded. But, I want to learn more, to surpass my limits. Great. Lin Yin patted Yun Xian's shoulder and said solemnly, you only seek to break through your own limits. You don't have any desire for fame and fortune. Our team has always admired your attitude. You're still young, so you won't be able to earn all the money you want. You should learn more while you're young. Yun Xian eyed Lin Yin intently. Yeah, so, do you want to join my team? Lin Yin went straight to the point. Sister, can you tell me which team you belong to? Yun Xian asked curiously. My team is in the midst of restructuring. It's the He family team. Have you heard of it? Asked Lin Yin. The He family team? Yun Xian frowned. But I have never heard of it. Lin Yin was speechless. Indeed, the He family team was a small team that had never participated in major competitions or won many competitions. Hence, not many people had heard of it. Although Lin Yin had represented the He family team to defeat one of the top racers in the country, it had been a challenge competition. Hence, it was normal that Yun Xian hadn't heard of it. Lin Yin glanced at Yun Xian and explained, we can't compete with the new team that you want to join. However, if you join our team, you will be able to learn a lot. If Yun Xian had joined the team for glory, fame, or money, Lin Yin wouldn't have been able to satisfy him. However, it wasn't difficult for Lin Yin to learn and become stronger. I just read your resume and gave you a suggestion. Given your current situation, joining a small team is the best choice. Of course, even if you're willing to join, you will still have to go through some tests. If you don't meet the requirements, even a small team won't accept you. Lin Yin glanced at Yun Xian as she spoke bluntly. Before Yun Xian could reply, Lin Yin added, Of course, if you can pass the tests and prove that you are capable, I can promise that you will get what you want as long as you join our team. Otherwise you can leave. At this moment Yun Xian looked a little hesitant. However, he knew that Lin Yan was telling the truth. Yun Xian had applied to many famous teams, but ZH1 was the only one who had given him the same advice. Some of the famous teams had even rejected him outright. Although Yun Xian didn't want to join the small convoy, it seemed like this was the only way out given the current situation. Yun Xian didn't want to join a small team for no other reason than that he felt that staying in a small team would only waste his youth and burn away his passion. Based on his experience, he didn't think that he would be able to learn anything from a small team. Sister, actually, I'm not a newbie. That's why I don't think I'll be able to learn anything useful from a team. Yun Xian glanced at Lin Yan as he spoke. Chapter 452. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth curled up when she heard Yun Xian. She chuckled softly. If I had thought that you were a newbie, I wouldn't have invited you to join my team. Also, Lin Yan paused for a moment as her eyes landed on Yun Xian. No matter what level you are, even if you have participated in international competitions, you will be able to learn a lot by joining our team. You might think that words are useless, but I stand by my words. After you join the team, if you feel that you can't learn anything, you can turn around and leave. This will be written into your contract. Lin Yan had already made her point. If Yun Xian still didn't like her team, she would have no choice but to give up. Yun Xian pondered this for a moment before he nodded. If what you said is true, I am willing to join your team. Besides learning, I will also do my best to bring glory to the team. This is my promise. Before I join the team, can I visit the team? Of course. Lin Yan glanced at Yun Xian. Let's exchange numbers first. I will tell you the address and time. After exchanging numbers, Lin Yan parted ways with Yun Xian. Lin Yan had high hopes for Yun Xian. She admired the boy's understanding of racing and hoped that Yun Xian wasn't just good at theory. Lin Yan was surprised that she had joined the new star team. Although she hadn't been able to join the team, she had accidentally bumped into Yun Xian, who had failed the recruitment test. She had invited him to join the He family team. Was this considered a lucky break? Since it was still early, Lin Yan had no intention of slacking off. She headed to the next team. Before long, Lin Yan arrived at KNT, one of the top teams in the capital city. Once upon a time, KNT was one of the earliest racing teams in China. Their strength and scale were also considered top-notch. However, due to the management problems of the current KNT team's boss, the KNT team's situation in recent years was not optimistic. They had not even entered the third level for 4 years. After the past few days, Lin Yan had realized that it would be extremely difficult to find a good racer. No one would believe her. They would treat her like a retard. If she couldn't find anyone, she would have to try something else. Of course, if there was a need, she would consider revealing her identity in front of a few people. Get lost. Lin Yan had just arrived at KNT's headquarters when she heard an angry bellow. Instinctively, Lin Yan's eyes darted forward. A handsome man was pushed out of KNT's headquarters. The man was wearing a KNT uniform and had brown hair. The man staggered forward. He didn't seem to care about being pushed out, and a self-mocking smile hung on his face. Mo Shuyun, your contract has expired. From today onwards, you will be removed from KNT. A middle-aged man in a suit said coldly as he stood in front of the KNT headquarters. Is that so? That's great. Mo Shuyun stared at the man and sneered. Ever since KNT gave all the glory and position that belonged to me to someone else last year, I've been planning to dawdle around. It doesn't matter anymore. Chapter 453. The middle-aged man's eyes were filled with disdain and disgust. That's your own problem. Get lost. After saying that, bang! The door of KNT was slammed shut. Lin Yan was dumbfounded when she saw the door shut. What was going on? Lin Yan's eyes trailed to the man. The man seemed to be a KNT racer, as he was still wearing his KNT uniform. However, he looked a little desolate and there was a mocking smile on his face. He didn't seem to care that he had been kicked out of KNT. As Lin Yan sized up the man, his eyes inadvertently landed on Lin Yan as well. The man was puzzled when he first saw Lin Yan. Then, he scrutinized her carefully for a moment before his eyes widened in shock. Hold on. Yes, it's you. The man stared at Lin Yan for a moment before he strode over to her. Lin Yan was puzzled when she saw this. Hold on. Aren't you, that? The man frowned as he stood beside Lin Yan as though he was trying hard to recall. Lin Pianruo. Suddenly, the man pointed at Lin Yan looking shocked. Yes, it's you. You're Lin Pianruo. Am I seeing things? You're really Lin Pianruo. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched when she heard the man. Her name was Lin Yan. Lin Pianruo was just a character she had played. Lin Pianruo, I'm your idol. The man looked excited. Lin Yan was speechless. No. You're my idol. The man gazed at Lin Yan excitedly. I've watched it 5 times. I went to the cinema and watched it 5 times. You acted really well. Really, I swear. Lin Yan gazed at the man and fell silent for a moment. My name isn't Lin Pianruo. My name is Lin Yan. I'm sorry. Your role as Lin Pianruo was too shocking. It left a deep impression on me. So, the man looked awkward. Lin Yan chuckled softly. I can understand. She hadn't expected this. She actually had a fan now. And someone had recognized her. It seemed that she was really starting to become popular. Oh yeah, why are you here? Are you going to KNT? Are you interested in racing too? Oh yeah, the movie legend is currently casting Yeva. You must be here to fight for the role. Many celebrities have come to watch the movie, the man replied. Lin Yan didn't reply. Instead, she studied the man and asked, Are you a member of the KNT team? The man chuckled softly. However, there was a hint of self-mockery in his laughter. An hour ago I was. Now, I have nothing to do with KNT. Lin Yan had witnessed everything that had happened, but she didn't know the full story. She only knew that the former racer had been kicked out of KNT. Let's not talk about that. Miss Lin, can we exchange contact information? I'm a loyal fan of yours. Although I've only watched this movie, I'll definitely contribute to the box office for all of your movies in the future. The man said. Hold on. Lin Yan eyed the man intently. The man was disappointed when he saw Lin Yan's expression. However, it made sense. Which artist would exchange contact information with their fans so casually? You don't have a team now, right? Why don't we talk about a team? Lin Yan's lips curled into a smile. There aren't many slots left for the canvas bag. Everyone please vote and leave comments. The monthly activity will end in a week. I'll post the details again. The top 200 most active readers on the QQ Reader Circle will receive different exquisite accessories. The deadline will be October 31st at 23:50 p.m. First to third place. Yusheng's custom-made lamp plus Yimeng's custom-made humidifier plus Yusheng's custom-made mug plus set of signed postcards plus Lin Yan's suddenly rich canvas bag 4th to 10th place. Humidifier plus mug plus postcards plus canvas bag 11th to 50th place. Mug plus postcards plus canvas bag 51-100 place. Postcards plus canvas bag 101-150 place. Canvas bag 151-200 place. Postcards PS. You can win multiple prizes with other activities. You just need to have the votes for the month of October. The postcards are a set and one of them is signed. Chapter 454. Mo Shuyun was taken aback by Lin Yan's words. He looked a little confused. She was talking about the team? Mo Shuyun quickly understood what was going on. Recently, an overseas movie, Legend, had been casting for the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Hence, many female celebrities had taken the initiative to approach some famous teams in the industry. They wanted to compete for the role of the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yaf. If they knew nothing about racing, they wouldn't be suitable. Hence, Mo Shuyun assumed that Lin Yan had been referring to this topic. Sure. If you want to learn more about racing, I can help you. Mo Shuyun glanced at Lin Yan. Huh. Lin Yan was puzzled by Mo Shuyun's words. Learn more about racing? Since when had she said that she wanted to learn from Mo Shuyun? She had merely said that she wanted to talk about racing teams. There was no connection between the two. Lin Yan, who knew that Mo Shuyun had misunderstood her, smiled and explained, You've misunderstood. I have no intention of learning about racing. Then what do you mean, Miss Lin? Mo Shuyun was puzzled. It's like this. Lin Yan gathered her thoughts and glanced at Mo Shuyun. You used to be a racer for beer. Coincidentally, I have a team that is currently in the midst of restructuring. We are lacking experienced racers. Would you be interested in joining us? After Lin Yan's explanation, Mo Shuyun finally understood what she meant. However, Mo Shuyun didn't seem interested in joining a new team. He replied bluntly, I see. But I just quit my job. That's a pity? Lin Yan shook her head at Mo Shuyun. Miss Lin, may I ask what kind of team you belong to? Mo Shuyun asked curiously. It's the He family team, Lin Yan explained to Mo Shuyun. The He family team? Mo Shuyun was taken aback. The He family team. Wait a minute. Is it the He family team that defeated WW? Yeah. Lin Yan nodded. Mo Shuyun couldn't believe his ears. Miss Lin, are you the boss of the He family team? As a professional racer for fire, Mo Shuyun was naturally aware of WW's recent humiliation. They had wanted to challenge ZH1, but they had been tricked by ZH1. They had sent a small team like the He family team to compete with WW. To everyone's surprise, WW had been defeated. They had been defeated by the He family's team. Actually, the first half of the race was within everyone's expectations. When the He family team had just started, WW had already pulled ahead of them. However, something unexpected happened during the second half of the race. A racer from the He family team had single-handedly caught up with all the WW racers. He had even overtaken the captain of the WW team and helped the He family team win the race. WW had become a laughing stock. Recently, Mo Shuyun had also been paying attention to this matter. Later on, the competition officials had started investigating. It seemed that someone had reported that the race had been faked, and the analysis of the videos online was unreasonable. As for the truth, Mo Shuyun had no idea. However, Mo Shuyun seemed to have thought of something at the mention of this matter. Wait. Chapter 455. Mo Shuyun stared at Lin Yan in shock. The racer who beat WW. Is that you? I did race against WW and I won. Lin Yan didn't deny it. Meeting One's match hadn't been released yet when the He family team had competed against WW. Hence, Mo Shuyun had never heard of Lin Yan. After that, he had fallen in love with Meeting One's match and read the original novel. That was how he had gotten to know Lin Yan, who had played the role of Lin Pianruo. However, he had never associated her with the racer Lin Yan from the He family. So, the actress he had fallen in love with was Lin Yan from the He family team and had defeated WW? This was too ridiculous. Mo Shuyun found everything that had happened ridiculous. First, he had been kicked out of fire. Then Lin Yan, the actress who had portrayed Lin Pianruo, had approached him and invited him to join her team. He also knew that Lin Yan had been a member of the He family team that had defeated WW. Idol, can you tell me more about your team? If you want to invite me to join your team, I need to understand everything before I make a decision. Mo Shuyun glanced at Lin Yan as he spoke. Lin Yan didn't reject him. The two of them found a nearby tea house and sat down to chat. Lin Yan didn't hide anything from Mo Shuyun about the He family team's situation. She told him the truth, including how the He family team had been reorganized and reformed. Then, if I join, there will only be 2 racers? Mo Shuyun gazed at Lin Yan, lost in his thoughts. Actually, Mo Shuyun agreed with Lin Yan's idea and the way she had handled the situation. Mo Shuyun had watched the competition between WW and the He family team. The disparity between the He family team and WW aside, the He family team didn't have a single racer who could be considered a professional racer. They didn't even have the professionalism that a small team should have. If the He family team didn't rebuild, it would be useless no matter how much money they invested or how good their equipment was. I have a cousin who is also a member of the He family team. However, his racing skills, Lin Yan felt a little helpless at the mention of He Lufeng. He Lufeng's skills were probably inferior to those hooligans. At most, he was on par with them. If he wanted to go further in the professional scene, this was definitely not enough. Unless Lin Yan trained him specifically, that would depend on his own talent. Right now, it's a beginner racing team. As long as they're willing to put in the effort, I'm fine with coaching them. However, if we make a major change, we won't be able to compete because we don't have enough people. Even if we find a racer, we'll need to train them for a period of time. At the very least, we need to develop teamwork on the racetrack, Mo Shuyun said. Before Lin Yan could respond, Mo Shuyun added, Miss Lin, why don't we? If you really want to rebuild the team, I can recruit some racers. Lin Yan had no objections to that. After all, Mo Shuyun was a former racer of fire, so he was very familiar with the racing scene in China. If Mo Shuyun was willing to help find racers, he would naturally be much more efficient than her. Chapter 456. So you're agreeing to join the He family team? Lin Yan eyed Mo Shuyun intently. Mo Shuyun nodded eagerly and grinned. Of course I'm willing. If the He family team doesn't reorganize itself and retain its original members, I definitely won't join. However, it's a different matter altogether. Besides, Queen Pianruo will be my boss. Lin Yan interrupted Mo Shuyun. I'm just a member of the He family team and I have my own job to do. I can't compete in every race. Miss Lin, before I join the He family team, I need to ask you a question. I hope that you can be honest with me. Mo Shuyun eyed Lin Yan intently. What is it? Asked Lin Yan. Mo Shuyun fell silent for some time before he replied. It was the competition between the He family team and WW team. I know that it was a competition between two teams, but in reality, Miss Lin defeated the entire WW team single-handedly. Besides, I watched the video of the competition. It felt like a performance. It's all right. Please continue. Lin Yan grinned. Mo Shuyun nodded. From my point of view, there are only two outcomes for this match. Mo Shuyun paused for a moment before he added, the first possibility is that WW colluded with Miss Lin Yan or ZH1 to fix the competition. The second outcome? Mo Shuyun studied Lin Yan's nonchalant expression. Miss Lin, you crushed WW completely. The difference between WW and you is huge. That's why you were able to end the competition like a performance. So which one do you think it is? Lin Yan chuckled softly. Hard to say. Mo Shuyun shook his head, looking perplexed. Lin Yan was an actress, while WW was one of the most prestigious teams in the country. Their new captain had performed extremely well in the third level of the world. Logically speaking, given the video of the competition, it had to be a rigged competition. However, no matter how Mo Shuyun thought about it, he still couldn't figure out the purpose of this fixed match. WW and ZH1 were arch-enemies. It was impossible for WW to lose to the He family team that ZH1 had sent to replace them. Unless there was some sort of insider trading that no one knew about, it would be impossible. Miss Lin, could you please tell me if the competition between the He family team and WW team was rigged? Asked Mo Shuyun. Lin Yan grinned. Is WW really that strong? Is it so strong that anyone who defeats them will be accused of rigging the competition? Mo Shuyun's eyes glinted when he heard Lin Yan's reply. Although Lin Yan hadn't said it out loud, her words had made it very obvious. WW was too weak for Lin Yan. At this moment, Mo Shuyun was even more curious about the girl in front of him. Was she really just an actress? Miss Lin, I believe you. Mo Shuyun took a sip of his tea and nodded at Lin Yan. I'm well aware of the relationship between ZH1 and WW. Firstly, WW doesn't lack money. Besides, there's a deep grudge between the two teams. I don't think it's possible for either team to lose to the other team in a fake competition. Chapter 457. Thank you for your understanding and trust. Lin Yan thanked Mo Shuyun. Therefore, I have two conditions for joining the He family team. Mo Shuyun replied solemnly. Firstly, I can't accept being a mere member of the team. Given my abilities, I'm more than qualified to be the captain of an established team. Hence, I want to be the captain of the He family team. Lin Yan nodded and agreed to Mo Shuyun's first condition. Just as Mo Shuyun had said, given his experience and ability, it would be a waste for him to be the captain of the He family team. This was the beginning of the He family team's restructuring. If Mo Shuyun was willing to help out, Lin Yan would be more than happy to oblige. What's the second condition? Asked Lin Yan. Mo Shuyun replied, Miss Lin, the second condition is that I want a small share of the He family team. I don't need a lot, just 10% will do. I don't need a salary and I will bring funds into the He family team. Lin Yan was taken aback when she heard Mo Shuyun's second condition. Had she heard wrongly? How could there be such a good deal? Did this man have a grudge against money? Not only would he not need a salary, but he would also bring funds into the He family team. Right now, the He family team was just a beginner team. They hadn't won many competitions, so they couldn't see their future. How could Mo Shuyun want a share of the He family team? Can you tell me why? Lin Yan stared at Mo Shuyun intently. Haha, Miss Lin, isn't this simple? If what Miss Lin said was true and there was no fake match between you and the WW team, then it can only prove one thing. Miss Lin, your standard should be able to match up to the third level of the international competition. If you add in my training methods and help the He family team recruit better racers, I believe that in less than 5 years, the He family team will become one of the top teams in the country. In at most 7 years, we will be able to compete in the third level of the international competition. I want a share of the He family team because I want to earn money. Mo Shuyun grinned. A top team in 5 years and the third level of the international competition in 7 years? Lin Yan fell into deep thought. If that was really the case, the He family team could just disband immediately. Why would she spend so much effort to reorganize the team? Miss Lin, you don't have to doubt yourself. I believe in my judgment. I am confident that I can make the He family team one of the top teams in the country within 5 years and enter the third level of the international competition within 8 years. Mo Shuyun's eyes lit up with excitement. Lin Yin stared at him intently. Didn't you say 7 years? Then 7 years it is. Lin Yin was speechless. Just like that, Mo Shuyun successfully joined the He family team. The two of them agreed to have dinner at the He family's old mansion the next day. They would also introduce Mo Shuyun to the real boss of the He family team. Lin Yin had also sent Yun Xian an address and invited him along. After returning to Cloud Manor, Yun Xian replied, "Sister, are there many people?" Lin Yin glanced at the message and replied casually, "Including you, there are about 5 or 6 people." After some time, Yun Xian replied with a voice message, "All right then. I will be there on time." "Thank you, sister." Mo Shuyun gave Lin Yin the impression that he was an experienced racer who had been in the racing industry for many years. Yun Xian, on the other hand, was different. He was a newcomer who loved racing. However, Lin Yin didn't feel confident about Yun Xian's personality. Update has ended. Chapter 458. After interacting with Yun Xian for a while, Lin Yin realized that he was shy. Generally speaking, professional racers rarely had this kind of personality. Most racer styles were directly linked to their personalities. If a racer had a fiery personality, their style on the track would be more violent. If a racer had a steady personality, their style on the track would be more stable and survival. It was all different. Lin Yin had never met a racer like Yun Xian in her racing career. Hence, she was filled with anticipation and curiosity about him. Lin Yin dialed her grandfather's number. Her grandfather's voice came through the phone. "Xiaoyan, it's late. Why are you looking for me?" "Grandfather, I'm going back to the old mansion for dinner tomorrow," replied Lin Yin. "Sure. Go back more often." "Grandfather, I'll be bringing 2 racers with me tomorrow. One of them will be the captain of the He family team." Lin Yin got straight to the point. The person on the other end of the line fell silent. He Dinkuan had assumed that Lin Yin would be returning to the old mansion for dinner. He hadn't expected that she would be bringing a racer to the He family's mansion. "Captain, are you kidding me? Are you going to bring a random person back to be our captain?" Before her grandfather could speak, He Xiong's voice came through the phone. Lin Yin glanced at the time. It should be dinner time now. She reckoned that He Xiong and He Dinkuan were sitting together, so He Xiong had overheard her conversation. Of course, Lin Yin didn't care. If Mo Shuyun had heard the manager of a junior team describe him as a random person, how would he feel? Although Lin Yin wasn't familiar with the racing scene in the country, she knew that a racer like Mo Shuyun might not be famous among the top teams in the country. However, if he were to be placed in a junior team, he would probably be considered a godly figure that was out of their reach. "Xiaoyan, all right. I got it. Bring him back tomorrow?" He Dinkuan replied. "Okay, grandfather. See you tomorrow night." Lin Yin hung up the phone. Shortly after Lin Yin hung up, Pei Yutong barged in hastily. "Sister-in-law, where have you been? I've been looking for you all day. You didn't even reply to my messages." Pei Yutong blurted out anxiously. "You've been looking for me all day?" Lin Yin was startled. Because of Yun Xian and Mo Shuyun, she hadn't had time to look at her phone. Hence, she hadn't known that Pei Yutong was looking for her. "I called you a few times and sent dozens of texts, but you didn't reply?" Pei Yutong looked aggrieved. Lin Yin was speechless. Lin Yin stared at him and replied helplessly, "Why are you looking for me? What's so urgent?" Pei Yutong's eyes gleamed with excitement as he stared at Lin Yin. "There's something important. It's a greeting gift." "A gift?" Lin Yin was startled. "What gift?" "It's a gift for Yeva." Pei Yutong sat down beside Lin Yin. "Sister-in-law, we're going to meet Yeva at a private banquet in 2 days. We can't possibly go empty-handed. That would be impolite. What should we give her? It has to be expensive, but it can't be too cheap. I wanted to give her money, but I didn't think it would be appropriate. A car? Doesn't seem appropriate either." Chapter 459. "You want to give me a car and money?" Lin Yin stared at Pei Yutong in shock. Hadn't his big brother restricted his finances? He had invested all his money into the team. Where had he gotten so much money? Of course, that wasn't the main point. The main point was that he wanted to give the imposter an expensive gift. How could he do that? Pei Yutong could give her his body, but he couldn't give her money. Pei Yutong noticed that something was wrong with Lin Yin, so he asked curiously, "Sister-in-law, what's wrong?" Lin Yin snapped back to her senses and took a deep breath. Did you burn too much money? Didn't your big brother restrict your finances? Pei Yutong smiled mysteriously. Even if he restricted my finances, and the team has been incurring losses, I still have some money. It's definitely enough for me to give her an expensive gift. Besides, sister-in-law, what do you mean by burning too much money? She is the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Besides, everyone who attended the private banquet has been looking for a gift. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give her a gift. Lin Yin glanced at Pei Yutong. The real Pei Yutong was standing right in front of him, yet he hadn't given her a gift. Instead, he had chosen to give her an imposter. How could a human do that? Sister-in-law, I can't think of anything. Can you help me? Asked Pei Yutong. I don't think that's necessary. Lin Yin contemplated this for some time before she grinned at Pei Yutong. Think about it. The racetrack's Grim Reaper has seen everything. You have to show that you are special in order to make her remember you. Pei Yutong was dumbfounded. Show that he was special. He wanted to, but how could he show that he was special and make the racetrack's Grim Reaper remember him? Think about it. Everyone else gave her an expensive gift, but you didn't. How special is that? If it were me, I would remember you for the rest of my life. I swear. Lin Yin gazed at Pei Yutong solemnly. Pei Yutong was speechless. Sister-in-law, stop fooling around. I'm serious. I would rather not remember your way of remembering me. Pei Yutong sighed heavily. You've made up your mind. You have to give it to me, right? Lin Yin frowned at him. Pei Yutong hurriedly nodded. That's for sure. What I mean is that the gift has to be unique. It has to be meaningful and classy. It has to be memorable. Lin Yin felt a little helpless. Why wouldn't this kid listen to her? Lin Yan's eyes darted around. Do you believe me? Sister-in-law, of course I believe you, replied Pei Yutong. Let's do it this way. Lin Yin pondered this for a moment before she added, you don't have to worry about the gift. I'll help you prepare it. It will definitely be classy and expensive. What do you think? Really? Pei Yutong's eyes lit up. Pei Yutong wasn't good at giving gifts. He had never given any of his previous girlfriends anything. Don't worry, leave it to me. Just transfer the money to me. Lin Yin nodded. I'm relieved. Pei Yutong heaved a sigh of relief. Oh yeah. Pei Yutong, who was about to leave, suddenly turned around and told Lin Yin, Sister-in-law, there will be a private banquet in 3 days. The top racers in the country will be competing with Yeva. I've booked a seat for you. Let's go and watch together. Okay. Lin Yin agreed readily. Chapter 460. After Pei Yutong left, Lin Yin fell into deep thought. From what Pei Yutong had revealed, it was obvious that the imposter was quite capable. Otherwise, she wouldn't have dared to compete with the top teams in the country. Wouldn't she have exposed herself if she had done so? In other words, the imposter was confident that she could beat the best team in the country. Otherwise, she wouldn't have agreed to compete. However, Lin Yin had no idea what was going on. She would have to attend the banquet to find out more. Lin Yin lay on her bed, feeling bored. She scrolled through Weibo and realized that Wei Shufeng's name had become a trending topic. Wei Shufeng had only posted one post on Weibo. 3 days from now will be the happiest day of my life. Wait for me. There were more than 100,000 comments and shares. Most of them were asking about what had happened and why he would be the happiest day of his life in 3 days. However, Wei Shufeng didn't reply. Others might not have known, but Lin Yin was well aware of it. 3 days from now, the imposter would be holding a private banquet. As Yeva's hardcore fan, Wei Shufeng had naturally been invited. Based on Pei Yutong's explanation, Lin Yin had learned that everyone had to sign a confidentiality agreement. The racetrack's Grim Reaper had retired due to her injury and had been keeping a low profile. She had never appeared in public or accepted interviews. Hence, anyone who attended the banquet was not allowed to speak to the media. If the media reported on it, the banquet would be cancelled. Those who were invited were all Yeva's hardcore fans. As Yeva's hardcore fans, they naturally knew Yeva's style and personality. Hence, even if they didn't sign a confidentiality agreement, no one would reveal this matter to anyone. Lin Yin was guessing that Lin Shuya would reveal to the public that she had met the racetrack's Grim Reaper after the banquet. Then she would be able to get the role of Yeva in Legend. Lin Yin glanced at Wei Shufeng's Weibo before she exited it. 3 days later, she would give everyone a surprise. Lin Shuya wanted to ride on Yeva's popularity? No way. The imposter wanted to impersonate her to make money? No way. She had already started to despise her, but the imposter was using her identity to make money. She was 100,000 times more despicable than Lin Shuya. The next day, Lin Yin had originally wanted to meet Yun Xian and Mo Shuyun. However, Yun Xian wasn't feeling well and had to go to the hospital, while Mo Shuyun had to settle some personal matters. Hence, they had to meet at the He family's mansion that night. Lin Yin searched for news about Yeva. In the end, the results were the same as before. The racetrack's Grim Reaper was severely injured. The new king of the racetrack's Grim Reaper had been defeated. The WZ team had lost the competition for the first time. The racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, had retired temporarily due to her injuries. It had to be said that the die-hard fans who were invited to the private banquet were indeed very tight-lipped. They did not leak any information to the outside world. When Pei Yutong and ZH1 had told her about this, they had asked her to promise that she wouldn't reveal anything to the public. Actually, Lin Yin couldn't wait to spread this news. She wanted all the media to know that Yeva had come to the country. Then, the domestic racing industry would be hyped up because of Yeva's arrival. Yeva's identity as an imposter would definitely be exposed. Chapter 461. However, Lin Yin decided against it. She didn't want Yeva's name to appear in the public eye. If they found out that she had been banned for using illegal drugs, she would be the one who would embarrass herself. Besides, there was no need to mobilize so many people just to deal with an imposter. Actually, Lin Yin was most afraid that the imposter would come prepared. If the media were to be alerted, the imposter would be able to make money quickly and leave. If that happened, the imposter's identity might not even be exposed. That night, Lin Yin texted Mo Shuyun and Yun Xian before taking a cab to the He family's mansion. Yun Xian was already on the way, but he might be a few minutes late due to the traffic. Mo Shuyun had just left his house as well. Yun Xian had been feeling unwell, so he had gone to the hospital. Mo Shuyun, on the other hand, had no sense of time at all. They had agreed to meet at the He family's mansion at 6, but Mo Shuyun had left at exactly that time. When they arrived, Wei Shufeng opened the door for Lin Yin. Lin Yin realized that all the members of the He family team were there, including He Xiong and He Mingkai. "Xiaoyan, you're here." The old master, He Dingkuan, strode out and glanced at Lin Yin. "Grandfather." Lin Yin nodded and sat down. "What? I heard that you found a captain for the He family team?" Lin Yin had just sat down when He Xiong glanced at her and spoke sarcastically. "Where is he? Let's see what kind of monster he is." He Xiong pressed on when Lin Yin remained silent. "Haha." Qing Li sneered coldly. "Miss Lin Yin, as long as you don't harm the He family team, we will survive. We don't need a captain. Mingkai is more than capable enough." Lin Yin had just sat down when Yun Xian texted her. "Sister, I'm here. I'm outside. Can you open the door for me?" Lin Yin stood up and opened the door. Everyone's gaze turned towards the door and saw a young and handsome boy dressed in casual clothes standing quietly at the door. If he didn't speak and the sky was dark, he would have been mistaken for a quiet girl. "Sister," Yun Xian greeted Lin Yin softly. "Yun Xian, come in." Lin Yin grinned at him. Yun Xian nodded, took off his shoes and carefully walked into the He family mansion. "Miss Lin Yin, are you trying to tell us that this boy is the captain you found for the He family team?" Qing Li sneered coldly when he saw Yun Xian enter the room. After Qing Li's words left his mouth, the He family members all began to laugh mockingly. As they looked at the silent Yun Xian, the disdain and ridicule in their eyes were not concealed at all. They wouldn't even agree to let a young, autistic boy like him be their assistant or a substitute member, let alone their captain. Yun Xian had assumed that only a few people would be attending the banquet. However, to his surprise, the He family mansion was filled with dozens of people dressed in the He family team's uniforms. Yun Xian stood at the side almost instinctively, not saying a word. Update is over. Looking for monthly votes and recommendation votes. The winner's list of 50 canvas bags will be announced at the end of the month. Chapter 462. Do you know how to race? No, do you know how to drive? Qing Li's eyes trailed to Yun Xian as he sneered coldly. Yes. Yun Xian replied after a moment. Lin Yin, what kind of joke is this? How could you make a random person the captain of the He family team? He Xiong glared at Lin Yin and hissed coldly, Lin Yin, let me tell you. You can't even be a substitute, let alone a captain. A person with such a personality isn't suitable to race. Also, you better stay away from the He family team. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because the old master dotes on you. Do you want to destroy the He family team? Dream on. Dad, why are you wasting your breath on such a person? If I were you, I would have thrown them out. He Minkai smirked. He Lufeng stared at Lin Yan as though he wanted to say something. However, he didn't know what to say. Miss Lin Yan, how could such a person join the He family team and be the captain? One of the navigators glanced at Lin Yan. I'm afraid you must have drunk too much. Shut up. Old Master He Dinkuan frowned with displeasure on his face. Old Master, it's not that we don't want to say anything, but your granddaughter doesn't know anything. She brought along an unknown person, yet she wants him to join the He family team. Isn't that a joke? Qing Li quipped. Before the old man could say anything, someone knocked on the door again. Lin Yan shot He Lufeng a look and he stepped forward to open the door. Mo Shuyun was standing at the door with a smile on his face. He ignored He Lufeng and strode into the mansion. I'm here. Mo Shuyun grinned at Lin Yan. Lin Yan grinned back at him. Have a seat. Okay. Mo Shuyun placed the gifts he had bought aside and scanned the crowd solemnly. It seems like everyone here is a member of the He family team. Let me introduce myself. Forget it. Forget it, the past isn't important. From now on, I will be the captain of the He family team. You can call me Captain Mo, or Captain Shu, or Captain Yun. Before anyone could say anything, Mo Shuyun shook his head and said seriously, forget it, Captain Shuyun isn't good. It's inauspicious. Just call me Captain Mo. All the members of the He family team roared with laughter at Mo Shuyun's words. Who are you? Is there something wrong with your brain? Why are you still calling yourself Captain Mo? Lin Yan, you're hilarious. First you found a little boy. In the end you found an idiot. What kind of grudge do you have against the He family team? Mo Shuyun furrowed his brows. Not only was he the captain of the He family team, but he was also a shareholder. Who the hell would talk to a shareholder like that? He was only one contract away from becoming a shareholder. What kind of respect was that? You, and you. That's right, all of you are fired. Mo Shuyun sneered as he pointed at Qing Li and the others. Mo Shuyun's words caused everyone to roar with laughter. Ha ha ha. What did this fool say? I'm fired? Me too. I'm fired too. I'm laughing so hard that I'm in tears. Chapter 463. Lin Yan glanced at Mo Shuyun. Captain Mo, this is my grandfather. He is also the boss of the He family team. Mo Shuyun nodded and glanced at He Dinkuan. Hello, old master. My name is Mo Shuyun. I used to be the captain of fire. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. He Dinkuan greeted Mo Shuyun softly. However, Yun Xian's expression changed slightly. He finally raised his head and looked at Mo Shuyun. Is really you? The former ace of Team Fire? I've seen your race. You're amazing. Fire? Ha ha ha. What are you talking about? I'm the captain of Zich 1. We all know the captain of fire. His name isn't Mo Shuyun and he doesn't look like you. Miss Lin is indeed an actress. How could she find such an actor to act with us? Fire had a long history and was the first racing team in the country. Hence, the He family team naturally knew about Fire. Are you talking about the current captain? He is my apprentice. I was indeed Fire's captain a few years ago. Mo Shuyun's eyes flickered with an indescribable emotion when he mentioned Fire's current captain. There was also a hint of resentment in his eyes. What? You were the one who groomed Fire's captain? Yes, I admire you. Actually, I have a secret. I groomed Lang Mang. No one else knows about it. You guys are amazing, but I can't. I only groomed the racetrack's Grim Reaper. Yeva. Qing Li grinned mockingly at him. Mo Shuyun shrugged nonchalantly. He couldn't be bothered to argue with the He family team. Instead, he took out his resume and handed it to the old master. Old master, how about this? Let's go to the venue and test my skills. Due to certain reasons, I haven't had many opportunities to compete in the past few years. Hence, I have to rely on my abilities. I'll race alone against all the members of the He family team. If anyone can finish the first lap, I'll leave immediately. If not, all the pests of the He family team will have to scram. Mo Shuyun grinned. Two of the He family team members had specially searched for information online. They glanced at the photo on their phones before glancing at the man in front of them. According to the information they found, he was indeed the former captain of Fire. However, he looked very handsome and energetic. However, the man in front of them only had a slight resemblance to the man in the photo. Furthermore, the name of the former captain of Fire in the photo was Ryan, not Mo Shuyun. I don't think he's alone. One of the racers whispered to Qing Li. Qing Li took the phone and studied it carefully. Then he replied coldly, "They do look alike, but it's obvious that they aren't the same person. Besides, didn't the higher-ups say that Ryan isn't Mo Shuyun? Besides, do you really think that Lin Yan could find the ex-captain of fire and join the He family team? Use your ass to think, is it realistic?" Qing Li was right. They had been worrying too much. Any normal person with a brain would not leave a well-known big team to join a small team that could be disbanded at any time, let alone the captain of a big team. "Old master, what do you think?" Mo Shuyun glanced at He Dinkuan with a smile. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Yun Xian nodded with a serious expression. Chapter 465. Naturally, Mo Shuyun didn't have a car of his own, so he picked one at random. "Are you guys ready for your last race with the He family team?" Mo Shuyun opened the driver's door and stepped inside. He didn't forget to glance at the racer as he spoke. The He family team members sneered coldly at Mo Shuyun's words. No one was more familiar with the He family team's training ground than they were. Even if this man was a professional racer from Fire, he wouldn't be able to beat them in the He family team's training ground. Mo Shuyun, who was bored by the fact that no one was paying attention to him, entered his car. Soon more than a dozen cars roared to life. He Minkai's car was the first to leave the starting point. Mo Shuyun followed closely behind him. In just a few seconds, all the He family cars had left the starting point. Although He Minkai's car was extremely fast, it did not take long for Mo Shuyun to overtake it under the watchful eyes of the crowd. Mo Shuyun drove his car in front of He Lufeng's car and slowed down. He seemed to be waiting for He Minkai. However, just as He Lufeng was about to overtake Mo Shuyun's car sped up and sped up. He had fooled He Minkai and sped away. He Xiong's face darkened when he saw this. No matter how stupid the He family team was, they realized that the man Lin Yan had brought was indeed an expert. However, He Xiong and the others couldn't figure out why this man who was so good at racing would be willing to join a low-level team like the He family team. If any of them had been as good as him, they wouldn't have been tempted, no matter how much money the He family team offered. Joining a low-level team like the He family team would be akin to burning one's career. It would be a joke to risk one's youth and future. Be it in terms of future, rewards, or glory, a low-level team couldn't even be compared to a mid-level team, let alone a famous team. "Xiaoyan?" He Dinkuan strode over to Lin Yan, his eyes filled with shock. Mo Shuyun. Was he really a professional racer in Fire? He was even the captain? Lin Yan nodded and replied, "Grandfather, this is what happened." After confirming with Lin Yan, He Dinkuan was still in disbelief. Logically speaking, it was impossible for a professional racer from Fire, who used to be the captain of the team, to suddenly join the He family team and become the captain of the He family team. For example, if the richest man in the world didn't want to live a good life and insisted on becoming a beggar, he would rather suffer the disdain of others and beg for a living. Therefore, this matter in itself was an unreasonable thing. However, the truth was right before their eyes. Regardless of whether Mo Shuyun was a professional racer for Fear or not, his control over the track during the race was simply too terrifying. This was the He family team's training ground, so the track was extremely complicated. The He family team had been training there for a long time, so they were already used to it. They knew every corner of the track like the back of their hands. Even so, Mo Shuyun's car had already left the He family team far behind. Update is over. Begging for monthly votes. Begging for tickets. Chapter 466. Therefore, it no longer mattered whether or not Mo Shuyun was a professional racer in the advanced racing team, nor had he ever been a captain. What mattered was that Mo Shuyun was indeed an expert. A team like the He family team couldn't be compared to him. Good. Very good. Old Master He Dinkuan's eyes gleamed with excitement. If such an expert joined the He family team, the He family team would have boundless hope. They might even be able to get rid of their title as a junior team. Oh yeah. Suddenly the old master's eyes landed on Yun Xian, who was standing beside Lin Yan. He Dinkuan's interest in this boy was piqued. Yun Xian didn't look very old, so he should have graduated from school not too long ago. "Hi boss." Yun Xian glanced at He Dinkuan and greeted him shyly. Lin Yan had introduced him to the old man. He was the boss of the He family team. "Hi, you're Yun Xian, right?" He Dinkuan smiled at him. Yeah. Yun Xian nodded. Lin Yan told He Dinkuan about Yun Xian. He Dinkuan wasn't surprised. Actually, most racing enthusiasts would choose to join a famous team after they decided to pursue a career. Very few of them would choose to join a small team. However, He Dinkuan wasn't sure how good Yun Xian was. Although Yun Xian had achieved some outstanding results during his student days, that didn't mean that he could become a professional racer. Before He Dinkuan could say anything else, a loud explosion rang out. He Dinkuan and the others turned to see that Mo Shuyun had returned to the starting point and completed the second lap. The He family team, including He Mingkai, had been left far behind. Mo Shuyun opened the door and stepped out of the car. He removed his helmet and glanced at He Dinkuan. Old master, we should replace our team members a long time ago. They are all hooligans. None of them are useful. If Mo Shuyun had said this earlier, he would have been mocked and ridiculed. However, no one dared to retort now. Speed was everything to a racer. In the racing industry, the strong always had the right to speak. With Mo Shuyun's skills, it was unthinkable for him to join a team like theirs. Never in their wildest dreams would they have thought that this person was actually the captain of Team Fire. To be precise, they hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be able to recruit the captain of Fire. After running for a long time, He Mingkai and the others finally reached the finish line. Their faces were covered in dirt, and they looked like defeated roosters. At this moment they could no longer make sarcastic remarks. Lin Yan grinned at them. So, can we talk about reorganizing the team now? He Mingkai and He Xiong stood there with dark faces, not saying a word. Everyone else was also silent. The old man said, Xiaoyan, it's getting late. Tomorrow, let's arrange a time with Captain Mo and our young friend Yun Xian to talk in detail. Now that she had proven Mo Shuyun's capability, it meant that Lin Yan had found a reliable teammate. Hence, she wasn't in a hurry to test Yun Xian. Lin Yan glanced at Mo Shuyun and Yun Xian. Mo Shuyun shrugged. Sure, I'm fine with anything. My idol has the final say. Although Yun Xian was disappointed that he wouldn't be able to race today, he nodded obediently. I'm fine with anything too. He hadn't expected that Lin Yan would be able to recruit the former captain of Team Fire. No wonder she had been so confident that she would be able to learn something here. Lin Yan replied, all right, it's settled then. Grandfather, let's talk another day. Chapter 467. It was late at night by the time Lin Yan returned to the villa. Worried that she might wake Pei Yuqing up, Lin Yan pushed the door open softly. She changed into slippers and walked out of the room. She saw a dim lamp in the living room. Under the gentle light, Pei Yuqing was leaning against the backrest. The man had removed his glasses and placed them on a pile of documents. His eyes were half closed as though he had fallen asleep. Lin Yan hadn't expected Pei Yuqing to be in the living room at this hour. Instinctively, she breathed more softly. Why wasn't Pei Yuqing asleep? If he was working, why didn't he go to the study? Pei Yuqing didn't seem to be in a deep sleep. The moment Lin Yan approached him, he opened his eyes slowly. The man looked a little dazed. When his eyes landed on Lin Yan, he gradually regained his focus. He picked up his glasses and put them on. You're back. Lin Yan nodded. I had to discuss something with grandfather today, so I came back late. Did I disturb you? Ever since Lin Yan had said that he was in her heart, Pei Yuqing hadn't objected to her addressing him as sir. Pei Yuqing pinched his eyebrows and stood up. Are you hungry? I saved some food for you. Lin Yan's heart skipped a beat as she swallowed her saliva. Thank you, Mr. Pei, but it's okay. I've eaten tonight. Besides, you know that we have to maintain our figures, so we can't eat too much. Pei Yuqing didn't insist. Okay, rest early. Lin Yan nodded furiously. Okay. You too, Mr. Pei? Lin Yan asked casually. Mr. Pei, were you working earlier? Yeah. What? Asked Pei Yuqing. Lin Yan scratched her head. Nothing. I just found it strange. Are you used to working in the living room? Besides, it's already so late. Why didn't you go to the study? Sitting in the study would be more comfortable than sitting on the sofa, right? She remembered that this wasn't the first time she had seen Pei Yuqing working on the sofa in the living room. It was already so late, yet he was still in the living room. Lin Yan couldn't help but feel puzzled. Pei Yuqing raised his eyebrows when he heard the girl. Miss Lin, you really don't know? Huh? Lin Yan blinked in confusion. Should I know? How did she know? She didn't understand his logic. Pei Yuqing noticed that the girl looked lost and confused. Helplessness flitted across his eyes as he gazed at the girl intently. Miss Lin, I'm waiting for you. I was waiting for you, Lin Yan blinked her eyes repeatedly. It took her a long time to comprehend what he meant. Did he mean that he was working in the living room because he was waiting for her to come home? Before Lin Yan could snap out of her daze, the man added, I'm working in the living room not because I'm used to it, but because I can see you more often. Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yuqing's words couldn't be more direct. If Lin Yan still couldn't understand, she wouldn't be a straight girl. She would be retarded. When Pei Yuqing realized that the girl had finally understood him, a satisfied smile appeared on his face. Chapter 468. Miss Lin, do you understand what I'm saying? Pei Yuqing asked patiently. Lin Yan was so embarrassed that she wished she could find a hole to hide in. She nodded her head furiously. She got it. Stop mocking her EQ. Why was this man able to say such things without even blushing or having his heart skip a beat? He was indeed a boss. Pei Yuqing stopped abruptly and said, Rest early? Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief and replied hastily, Okay. Pei Yuqing strode over to the girl and planted a gentle kiss on her forehead. Good night. Lin Yan replied, Good night. Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground in a daze even after Pei Yuqing had entered the bedroom. During the time she had been staying with Pei Yuqing, other than the day when he had suddenly gone berserk, everything had been peaceful and harmonious. She had gradually realized that as long as she didn't cross Pei Yuqing's bottom line, he could be very patient and gentle. Usually, they would be busy with their own things and they would get along very well. However, after a few lessons, Lin Yan had a deep understanding of Pei Yuqing's dangerous side. Hence, she didn't dare to let her guard down just because they seemed harmonious on the surface. This was also the reason why she hadn't found a good time to agree to Xing Chen's request. Lin Yan's head throbbed as she went back to her room. Suddenly, her WeChat notification rang. She had been added to a group chat. The person who had added her was Xing Chen. She didn't use QQ often, so she had given her WeChat to Xing Chen. Of course, another reason was that she really didn't want to see Xing Chen's signature again. There was another person in the group chat. That person's ID was celebrating the new year joyfully. Misty City amid the setting sun typed. Lin Yan sent a question mark over. Celebrating the new year joyfully typed. Sister-in-law? I'm Qin Huan. Sister-in-law, your WeChat ID is so nice. It's so classy. Lin Yan was speechless. This ID was also bloody tears. She didn't want to mention it. Xing Chen, Miss Lin, do you know the progress of that matter? Lin Yan sighed and replied, I haven't found a suitable opportunity yet. I really don't know how to cheer Mr. Pei up. Xing Chen, I understand. It's okay. I can wait. I've waited for so long anyway. Celebrate the new year happily, sister-in-law. How could there not be a suitable opportunity? There were too many opportunities. For example, after you hold brother Yu's hand. For example, after you kissed and hugged brother Yu. For example, when you lie down with brother Yu and watch the stars and the moon at night and discuss life philosophy. Lin Yan was speechless. That was enough. Lin Yan replied speechlessly, I won't have such a chance. Thank you. Her interaction with Pei Yuqing had always been courteous and respectful. At most, they would kiss each other on the forehead every morning and night. On the other end of the phone, Qin Huan sent a voice message. No way, sister-in-law. Your progress is too slow. What era are you people from? You've been dating for so long, yet you're still moving at such a snail's pace? If you really don't know how to do it, we can teach you. Lin Yan replied decisively, Who said that I don't know how to do it? It's not like I haven't dated before. I'm experienced, all right? Chapter 469. Lin Yan chatted with them angrily for a while before she put down her phone and fell into deep thought. Was she really that bad at dating? That couldn't be. Lin Yan turned on her laptop and typed. What should I do in a relationship? How can I make my boyfriend happy? How can I make him agree to my request? There were all sorts of answers online and Lin Yan's head was spinning. She wanted to eat ice cream together, drink with 2 straws, put her hand in his pocket in winter, use a couple's profile picture, wear couple's clothes, take a walk together after dinner, ride the merry-go-round at the amusement park, shave his beard, take him out for spicy soup, and attend a concert together. Damn it, it was just a relationship. Why did she have to do so many things? What was the point of doing these boring things together? They might as well go for a race. This guy didn't make sense at all. Lin Yan sighed as she read on. Life was really unpredictable. A few months ago, she had been searching for ways to break up with her boyfriend. Now she was searching for ways to fall in love with her boyfriend. Lin Yan's stomach growled as she read on. It had been a long time since dinner and her body was drained. She was famished, but she wouldn't dare eat the food that Pei Yuqing had left for her. Fortunately, she had a lot of snacks. Lin Yan took out some chocolates, candies, crispy noodles and spicy snacks from the drawer. As she ate, she took out a notebook to jot down her findings. His earnestness was comparable to when she had been cramming for her acting lessons back then. It was almost midnight when Lin Yan put down her pen and got ready to go to bed. Lin Yan took a shower and changed into a set of clean pajamas. Then, she sat down at her desk to sort out her homework for the day before going to bed. She was sorting out her notebook when she suddenly felt a little dizzy. It was as though a strange force had penetrated the wall and was attacking her. What was going on? Was she too tired? Was she so tired that she felt dizzy? No, that's not right. This feeling is a little overwhelming and it's extremely familiar. Oh no. It was that pervert. Lin Yan clutched her head and hurriedly reached for the peachwood sword. However, before she could move, her vision turned black, and she lost consciousness. When Lin Yan opened her eyes again, they were clear and bright. She didn't look tired at all. That pair of cold eyes seemed to be devoid of any human emotions. A few minutes ago, Pei Yuqing had been leaning against the headboard, ready to fall asleep. Of course, sleep did not go so smoothly. No matter how calm he appeared, he couldn't lie to himself. Just like now, his consciousness had finally broken through his shackles and entered Lin Yan's body once again. Pei Yuqing was used to this, so he remained calm this time. However, in the very next moment, his gaze turned completely chaotic. Chapter 470. No matter how composed Pei Yuqing was, he hadn't expected to encounter such a scene when his consciousness had transmigrated. Pei Yuqing cursed under his breath as he grabbed a coat from the rack and put it on. He covered Lin Yan's body tightly. Only after doing all this did his breathing return to normal. However, the girl's face was rosy and her hair was slightly damp. She had just showered so he could see her in the mirror. Pei Yuqing flipped the mirror upside down. If this were to continue, he would probably do something shameful to himself. Out of habit, Pei Yuqing instinctively wanted to smoke. However, he remembered that he was in Lin Yan's body, so he gave up. He glanced at the colorful bags of snacks on the table and instinctively reached out to pick up a piece of chocolate. Pei Yuqing recalled the girl saying that she wasn't hungry after eating. Hadn't she said that she wasn't hungry? However, girls seemed to like snacks. Was it really that delicious? He had been born without a sense of taste, so he had never understood the passion humans had for food. Pei Yuqing opened the bag of chocolate casually and tore off a small piece before putting it into his mouth. When the sweet chocolate melted in his mouth, Pei Yuqing froze in a daze. It had just been a casual action, but he had never imagined that he would have a taste for the first time. Because he didn't have a sense of taste, everything tasted like wax to him. However, he was experiencing something that he had never experienced before through Lin Yan's body. He had almost forgotten that he was using Lin Yan's body. This was an unexpected gain, so this was the taste of sweetness? Indeed, it tasted the same as hers. He tried all the snacks that Lin Yan had placed on the table with the intention of researching them. Pei Yuqing's eyes scanned the room and landed on Lin Yan's laptop and computer screen. Pei Yuqing glanced at Lin Yan's search history. What should one do when they were in a relationship? How should one make their boyfriend happy? How should one make her boyfriend agree to her request? Pei Yuqing raised an eyebrow as though he was surprised. He had thought that she would search for how to break up with her boyfriend. He hadn't expected that she would study these questions. Pei Yuqing naturally knew that there had to be a reason for Lin Yan's abnormal behavior. However, this wasn't important to him. He liked the result. Then he noticed that Lin Yan had opened her notebook. She had listed 100 things that she should do with her boyfriend when she was in a relationship. Sharing an ice cream, drinking a drink with 2 straws, Winter putting her hand in his pocket, using a couple's head. If Lin Yan had been sober, she would have been stunned by her own beauty. How could she smile with such elegance, such beauty and such an A? Lin Yan's notebook was filled with scribbles. She had even written comments in the margins.